Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the NextGen Esports Network here on a Friday night. And Friday night means we are back oval racing here, and we are broadcasting the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR NextGen Cup Series from Michigan International Speedway. Tonight sees us embark on round 3 of the inaugural season of the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR NextGen Series here from Michigan International Speedway, brought to you on the NextGen Esports Network. Everyone tuning in from Australia, New Zealand, all around the world on our platforms, whether it be through Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Thank you for everyone tuning in. We hope you like the broadcast. But without further ado, I need to welcome our fellow commentators into the booth. And first and foremost, without any introduction needed, is Paul Jackson, mate. We're here on round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen Cup Series from Michigan, mate. We are excited to go oval racing once again on a Friday night.
Yeah, how you going, Aiden? Good to be back on a Friday night again, and back in the booth once again. And Michigan, one of my favourite tracks here as well.
Yeah, you come off a nice solid win during the week at Michigan, mate. So good congratulations to you right there. So you know exactly what you're talking about around Michigan. But joining us in the booth again on a Friday night is no other but Peter Gretton as well, making himself available from LR Esports. So Peter, thank you for being in here tonight, and welcome aboard.
Yeah, g'day Aiden, PJ, and all the viewers and PJ. Double duties tonight. It'd be good to call this race with you. I haven't done much calling around Michigan, but what I've been told is it's going to be fun. It's almost a super speedway, but you know, Friday night. Let's kick off the weekend with a bang, guys. But definitely glad to be back co-commentating on the InterSim network.
Yeah, definitely, mate, and thank you for joining us. And I'm sorry to cut in there, guys, but we're going to have to jump really quickly as we're 56 and a half minutes through their 1 hour practice. We've got a special guest up in the booth, Ruben Phelps. Have you got a copy, Ruben?
I sure do.
Now, Ruben, you're from Dunedin in New Zealand, aren't you?
Yep, you got it right. You said something proper for a change. That's a change.
I did. I've learned. You are. Ruben is my teammate in the iRacing world. So it's only taken me 6 months, but I've got it right. But Ruben is rolling out on track at the moment. He's been nice enough to be able to allow himself to be able to take everyone around for a couple of laps around Michigan. So before we go into qualifying, Ruben, the floor is yours. Take him for a couple of laps around Michigan in the NextGen Cup car.
I've just got myself out of the pit, so I'm just winding up, but it's just coming into turn 3 and 4 now, ready to start the lap. Which you can either be low at the bottom, or you can get a good speed on the top, and then you sort of drive it to the center of the racetrack. But as we cross the start-finish line here, you want to have all the speed wound up on the car, sort of bring it up a little bit to the thing, to turn 1. Now bring as low as possible, but probably keep a wheel in the black. Go towards the wall of turn 2. Just keep the foot flat. With these cars, is actually with the 5th gear, it actually makes it quite easy as we go into turn 3 here. Quite easy to drive, so you don't actually need to lift off whatsoever. So so if you want to just have a casual drive and want to put the foot down, this is the car to drive at the moment until we get a few updates from next season. But at the moment, this is how it is. But as we're just past the first lap, going back into turn 1, this time with a draft. So what you want to do is keep in the draft because it's a huge pull. For me, I'm just going to stay with this guy and just take all the draft on the outside lane. Of course, you'll have a big gain down the back straight here. A huge gain. And then try and do a slide job down here. So I'll cut underneath and just go straight underneath him. Move myself right up the top there, and coming off turn 4 to get a slightly bit of fast lap, go to the bottom on the apron here, and there's your couple of laps of Michigan.
Well, there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Ruben Phelps out of Dunedin, New Zealand, taking you for a couple of laps around Michigan Speedway here on the NextGen Esports Network on a Friday night. Paul and Peter, what do you reckon of that? A bit of an insight into the NextGen Cup Series, NextGen Cup car, rather, around Michigan International Speedway.
Yep. Okay, I'll go first. And just before you go, Ruben, what's I know you're a massive Cup car fan, and what? Just so let me know, I'm not really a NASCAR Cup. I do like them, but I don't follow them a lot. But just for the viewers at home, what was the transition like from the Cup cars to the next gen? And you did touch on in your lap there that it has got a fifth gear, so I learned something new there, Ruben. But for you, what was the transition from the NASCAR of late to the next gen?
Well, with the current package for this next gen, which is obviously ready for next season, that there's absolutely no tyre drop-off. So you can just about flat for majority of the run. There is a little bit of a drop-off at some point, but nowhere near as much as the current spec Cup car. So managing your tyres is definitely a high thing in the old style, but this style with the fifth gear, you can there's a lot of maneuvers you can make, and there's no real loss of anything. So for a beginner that wants to try oval stuff in a cup feel, this probably be the car to just sort of understand everything. But next year, when the real life stuff actually gets going, then I'm sure the package will definitely change. But at the moment, this is a good way to really start an understanding of oval.
Yeah, well, I have to jump in there, Rubes, and thank you so much for doing the lap around and having a chat with the guys. But we have now moved into qualifying, so I'll move you up into your voice channel. Thank you so much, and hopefully we're talking to you as a podium getter at the end of the race.
Cheers, thank you.
Well, there we go, guys. Ruben Phelps from Dunedin, New Zealand, taking us for a couple of laps around Michigan International Speedway, not a super speedway, but we're well into qualifying at the moment, 1 minute and 7 seconds into their 5-minute qualifying. This is a standalone qualifying session, as you can see, ladies and gentlemen. So it is 5 minutes or 2 laps, whatever is your best or quickest. So we'll see how it's about to fold out as we are 1 minute 22 into the qualifying at the moment. But Paul, I didn't get that message for you with the new sponsors, even though I've written it down. So a big shout out to Cube Retro Radio as well, who's come on board and sponsored the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series. So a big shout out to those guys as well. Jump on there, you can see their logo there. So jump on and give those guys a like and have a listen to them on the radio, etc., wherever you are around the world. I'm sure with podcasts and all those things happening, you can grab them anywhere. Obviously, a big thank you to Paul and everyone here on the IndySim Esports Network, and also the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series for allowing us to be a part of it. But as we go through qualifying, ladies and gentlemen, we have Michael Budge just going to the top there with a 40.27, Damon May with a 40.28, Garth Duffy 40.32, Tom Pritchard by 40.36. So very close at the front there, guys, as we're 2.5 seconds in the qualifying. 2.5 minutes, rather.
Yeah, I always make that error too, Aiden. It's easy to do. It's fluent out of the mouth. But this track, it looks good. What I'm watching out on screen, and a shout out to your sponsors too, the leagues, the broadcast partners, and everyone. Well, it can't be done without him. But Phelps now, look at that. He's done his lap. He's to the top of the table, number 6 Toyota. 40.196 so far, Aiden and PJ. I think he's going to be one to watch here tonight, Phelpsy.
Yeah, Phelpsy will definitely be one to watch. Also will be Adam Malone, who you just saw on the screen as well. Always quick in these cars. Damon May will be quick as well. We see the size of the field. I think everyone can be quick, and it's anyone's around here. Paul did mention it is a bit of tyres around here. With these next-gen cars, it's not so much, but it definitely will play a factor. They will drop 1.5 seconds to 2 seconds a lap over a long stint. And by a long stint, I mean 20 laps and above. Where you can definitely wear out your tyres is through 3 and 4, I believe. It's really, really important to get a good run around there. You can keep a lot of speed through the mid to high line. As the track goes off, if you go lower, you get a lot of push and no run off. So draft's going to be a massive thing in these cars, as you saw Ruben in those couple of laps before. As soon as he got behind He really drafted up on the back of that car in front. So as much as this isn't a super speedway, I think it might act a little bit like one to an extent, and don't expect any less than maybe 2 or 3 wide action. But if this does go green for a long period amount of time, guys, I think we're going to see a lot of tyre strategy come to play in this.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that green racing, especially, well, in any, doesn't matter if you're circuit, dirt, or especially here at, well, as you explained or described, almost super speedway. So green racing, because you want to see the guys use their heads and use their strategies under play. And I know I'm going to use the word easy a lot tonight, but it's easy for us sitting here and calling the race. But it's a lot easier to pit under yellow. So you want to see a lot of green racing, I think, and everyone at home as well. PJ's got the comments up there. Just let him know what the show's going to be like. It's going to be awesome, I think, Aiden. Green racing. I want to see green pit stops. You don't really see it here, but green pit stops is what I want to see.
Yeah, definitely green pit stops. So we'll move a little bit forward as we've just finished qualifying. And ladies and gentlemen, everyone here on the InterSim Esports Network, we will bring up those qualifying results in a moment. But a little bit of a coverage on tonight's race. So a bit of track notes. So it is 2 miles in length, 3.21 kilometres in the Australasian or UK style. It is 8:15 a.m. Obviously, you've got the broadcasters, myself, Paul, and Peter. Bringing you all the action here on the InterSim Esports Network on a Friday night. A few race notes. We have 125 laps tonight. They have 75% fuel. They have 2 tyre sets additional to what they start on in the pits. They do have 1 fast repair. There is going to be 1 green-white checker tonight if we do need to play that card. Weather is 78 degrees Fahrenheit in American cents, as I like to call it. We have 55% humidity. The wind speed is 2 miles an hour, and it is from the northerly direction. So, guys, we're looking forward to a great night racing tonight as we see everyone lining up on the grid. And Peter and Paul, I'll just start running through the grid. So as we have our starting order for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here from Michigan International Speedway, off the pole position is none other by the 06 of Ruben Phelps from Dunedin in New Zealand. Out of P2 is Ray Zerkut. Inside second row, Damon May, followed by Dave Oliver on the outside of the second row. Michael Budge on the inside of the third row with Adam Malone outside him. Inside of the fourth row is Tim Weston with Steve Hoppett rounding out the fourth row. Garth Duffy in 9th, Daniel Smith in 10th. Out of 11th is Norman Clark, and rounding out your top 12 currently is Tom Pritchard. And we'll just wait for that. And Peter, take us through the rest of the grid.
Yeah, 13th and 14th, Mason and Bullock. You got Brett Campbell. And is that Sean Stamper out of 15th and 16th? 17th and 18th is Blackburn and Michael Shaw. And I think Michael Shaw is one to watch here tonight. Agathis and Kosh back in style. And Barber, I do apologise about your names, Peyton and Hodsworth will be your 24. And Aiden.
And out of 25th is Dean Guilfoyle. 26 is David Misson. 27th, Shane Nowens. And rounding out the field, our 28-car field for round 3 here of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series on the InterSim Esports Network is Graham Ellis. So, guys, we're about to go green for round 3. If the first 2 rounds of this series has not shown us anything, we definitely need to buckle in and get ready for the next 125 laps, because it is definitely going to be anyone's.
Yeah, definitely. And to be honest, it's the first Cup Car series with the next gen cars that I've even watched, let alone called, and it's going to be good. And I'm sure that with PJ behind the buttons and also in comms tonight, I'm just a guest. Don't forget that it's the PJ and Aiden show, and they're going to hopefully lead me in the right direction. But Aiden, it's a double file restart, or not a restart, a start here, and well, it's iRacing safety car leading him, but he's going to pull away, and well, hopefully green to the end. And also, let's keep this line 2, 3, 4 wide. but very clean.
All right, so we are about to go green here for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night NASCAR Next Gen Series. Ruben Phelps brings us to the pole. He will be leading the field away for here at round 3, and we are green for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here from Michigan International. Ruben Phelps get a great run on the inside. Ray Zerkut really keeping in on us on the outside. Damon May following on the inside there, Ruben Phelps. They're really just going to use these first couple laps to try and feel each other out and get into the groove. We do see Adam Malone in that Monster Energy car trying to rip that outside line and get the run down on the outside of Ruben Phelps. We are too wide here on lap 1 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series from Michigan. Ruben Phelps just shows his ascendancy there, dropping right down in front of Ray Zerkut. Dave Oliver doing a great job there on the high line as well. Adam Malone trying to push him around the outside. This is not a super speedway, but you can see how these cars react around these type of conditions. So these cars really want to run 2-3 wide. Ruben Phelps just trying to make his car as wide as possible at the moment and hoping that people get into each other. But we have 3 lanes working here, ladies and gentlemen, as we go into the second lap of the Michigan International Speedway round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series.
It's been a good start, hasn't it, Aiden? As you see Oliver Phelps and Malone, they're the top 3, but you don't really know. You can't really call the top 3 because it's the rows. They've barely moved. You've had a couple of movers within the field, but it's been 2 and sometimes 3 lane racing here. But look at that, Oliver and Phelps. They're there at the front, and they're all having fun. But well, 125 laps. Oh, it's only just begun. And it's only going to get better. And especially in the opening and closing stages of the race. The middle, well, that's up to us here in the booth, guys. We'll ramp it up for all the viewers, but definitely this start has been, well, exceptional. Look at that, lap 3 already. You blink, you miss it.
And what you're going to see here, ladies and gentlemen, is you're going to see that outside line starting to work a lot as we nearly see 5th and 6th there nearly get into each other, but you're going to see this outside line start to work a little bit. The more that Ruben keeps pinching that inside, he's going to work that front right-hand tyre, and you just don't get that run off 3 and 4 that they're entering at the moment now. So if that outside line works, the inside line's going to be hung out to dry. As you can see there, that 3rd place car on the outside sort of didn't get in the draft there and jumped out, but he's getting the run down there now. So that outside line is really starting to work. So Ruben and I believe it might be Norman Clark, Daniel Smith, around those guys really need to try and move their car up on the track a little bit now. But as we see that line that was doing the outside run early has gone back inside. So they're all playing a bit of cat and mouse at the moment. Ruben's still sitting there in 4th, but that outside line is definitely stronger if they want people to work with them.
It's exactly what it looks like to me. Is look at this. Have I almost got my my wish 5 wide? Have a look at this middle. They fan out around that the last section of the track, Aiden. It's like I said, I'm a newbie when it comes to this track, Michigan Speedway, but it's definitely turning it on. Look at this, and we're still 2 lines astern, and sometimes 3. So it's going to be just find your line. I think as we go lap 5, there's plenty of racing to go. You don't even want to count down the laps yet. But look at that. There's a taste of almost 3 wide, and it's it looks almost in slow-mo, doesn't it, Aiden? They all know what they're doing. They know where the cars around them are. But Phelps is back leading the race. Just a little bit loose there too, but he gets away with that.
Yeah, Phelps, he knows what he's doing at the front. He did drop down 5 or 6 spots there earlier, but he was really quick on asserting his ascendancy and coming back to the front. But I still am going to stick with what I thought, and that outside line is definitely going to work better as this stint goes on. As we see Ruben nearly get into the outside there of Dave Oliver, so great driving there from both drivers. But that outside line is definitely going to assert its ascendancy. But I need to jump across to Paul Jackson, because being a winner around here earlier in the week, you're probably the best person to speak to on, and you would say that Michigan's not your favourite track, but you come away with a W during the week, mate. So I know this is Next Gen and not Cup cars, but what's your take on this track from what you see early in the race?
Well, I don't mind Michigan. It's almost there of a super speedway, so obviously on the super speedways they rely heavily on drafting, and bump drafting as well, but obviously with the Cup cars where I did get my win, bump drafting, there's now a little bubble around the car, so that does make things a little bit more difficult. But I also have to look after those tyres as well as the run goes on. So in these next-gen cars, obviously the pace is quite fast tonight, so I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. And as Ruben had said earlier in his lap around the track under practice there as he took us for a ride, he did mention that obviously the Cup car, the next-gen car, sorry, tyre wear isn't a big factor at this stage with the car. So I think we'll probably see a fair bit of green running and quite a fast pace tonight.
And in saying that, you mentioned the tyre factor, and it's not a factor yet, and it will be. We all know it will be if we do go green. Ruben Phelps, who was the pole sitter, has now moved down into 7th, now back to 8th. Do you think there's a reasoning for that? Do you think he's just sitting back? You see him there wanting to poke his nose up, so he's definitely wanting to have a run back towards the front. But for him to be going backwards and forwards, do you think there's a reason for Ruben to be doing that?
Well, I still think there is a little bit of tyre wear with these cars. And having ran those first sort of several laps side by side, I'm just wondering if he's had a little bit of wear on the tyre there as he was out on the inside there.
Yeah, I agree with you there, Paul. I think he might have done a little bit of that, and he's just thought, okay, I'm just going to sit up, and otherwise I'm going to tear my stuff up. So he's doing a great job there back in 6th. Obviously, he's my sentimental favourite, being my teammate, as Barry would be if he was in the race as well. But the guys at the front, Dave Oliver, Trav Mason, Adam Malone, Damon May, Michael Budge, rounding out the top 5, doing a great job in the top 5 there, showing a clean set of heels as we are now starting lap 11 of 125 here at Michigan International Speedway, at the 3rd round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, brought to you live here on the InSim Esports Network. But guys, how good is this? We haven't got a yellow lap yet. We are 11 laps in. These guys are doing a sensational job.
Yeah, is the operative word, I think, Aiden. But have a look at this. Hopefully we stay green, because I want to see them do their pit stops, as I've mentioned. But look, the car number 6 and car 09, look at them. They're backed side by side. But just to note there, look at the top 6 and top 8. Oh, look at the top 20, you could probably say. Oh, no! What happened there? I don't know.
Oh,
No,
there's a big incident. Big incident. Let's just let this play out, ladies and gentlemen. We'll see, and we'll bring this to you, what happened. I'm not sure who car that is. That is the 20. That's Weston, the 20 car. Unfortunate for Tim Weston. He was running really high up there early.
Yeah, we might jump back to the replay, and we'll slow that down a bit so we can catch what happened there.
Yeah, most definitely. So Tim Weston with an unfortunate incident there, but we'll go back to the replay as Paul just mentioned and have a look at what's happened. So we're going to be looking sort of mid-pack, that outside car. Oh, yeah, that outside car. And we're only commentators. We can only give our opinion, but that outside car didn't give enough room there. But interesting to see what the stewards think of that at the end of the race.
Definitely got to be busy too, because looks, he sent him in pit wall. Look, he's right there where he wants to be, but probably a few yards up. But he's going to have to go around. But oh, look, and this is the byproduct of that. So, like, there's what one car's error brings along probably about 5 or 6 cars' demise. But look at that. That's actually a bigger error or bigger incident than I thought, Aiden.
Yeah, it didn't look that big live, but yeah, a lot of cars caught up in that, unfortunately. So they're not going to be happy with that. They do have one fast repair, though, remember, guys, so they'll be able to use that now, and that doesn't mean their race is over, but they need to be very careful for the rest of this race, as we're only 13 laps into 125. So it's not all is done for those guys. Hopefully they've clicked their fast repair. It looks like this person in the pits at the moment may not have done that because he's sitting there. So I hope someone tells him he does have a fast repair. But we'll see what happens as they come out. He might be trying to use as much, but he'd want to come out and use that fast repair right now as we see the field trundle in the pit lane.
Busy's that. Look at that. They almost go like they started the race into pit lane. I think there's going to be oh, these couple of guys going to stay out? No, I think there's a bit of bluffing there. I think Aiden, there was, I don't know. Oh, have a look at that pit lane, mate. It's like ants. Look at it. And that's exactly what happens in real life race,
We
in
don't bluff in
NASCAR
NASCAR.
racing.
We don't bluff in NASCAR, mate. That does not happen. But
Oh, ever.
it's a new thing they learnt tonight. But no, they all come rolling off pit road at the moment. Be interesting to see who took those fast repairs, because it looks like someone didn't turn their fast repair on. That might be Tim Weston in there at the moment. He's still sitting in pit lane. So very interesting. That's probably ruined his race, whereas he could have taken that fast repair and been out on track. So don't know what Tim's doing there.
You don't rule out another big wreck like that as well. When, you know, commentators, we do the best that our commentators curse. And I do want to see green racing, believe it or not. I definitely do want to see green racing lap 4 of 125. There's, you know, maybe saving your fast repair, Aiden. You did mention there is only one fast repair. If there's a wreck like that in the latter stages of the races, if you're on the lead lap and you've been that bloke and you haven't used your fast repair, well, you know, you're probably grasping at straws, you know, to sort of guess that sort of thing this early on in the race. But you know, it could turn out to be the winning move. But you know, you're talking 111 laps down the road, so it'd be a good vision to sort of see in the future. But you know.
Yeah,
Who
with
knows?
the size of accident that Tim Weston had, it's not a good idea not to take your fast repair, because you're not going to have any speed. He's already a lap down, so he is the first of the lap down. But if you've got no speed, you're going to go further and further. You don't want to go more than a lap down. He's now just gone 2 laps down, so that's his race done. He's going to need 2 lucky dogs to get around that. So agree with what you're saying strategy-wise, but it's a long way back for Tim at the moment. To be able to get 2 more cautions, 2 more lucky dogs, and then have a car quick enough at the end to be able to compete. But hey, I've been wrong in the past, and I'll probably be wrong again. So we currently have Steve Hoppett leading the field, who is the runner of this league at the moment. So, Matt Patton, 22 spots up on his starting position at the moment. So he didn't pit through pit lane then under caution. Steve Hoppett there on the outside of the second row. Dave Misson, Dave Oliver. Ruben Phelps is gone back up into 5th. And I know that Ruben did go through pit lane there. So it looks like Dave Oliver and David Misson, Ruben Phelps are the first 3 on, I believe, with another set of tyres in the bank. I actually don't believe they would have taken tyres. I believe they just would have taken fuel at this stage. But they've only got 2 more in the bank. You probably get 30 or 40 out of a set. So not sure whether they would have taken tyres. I don't believe they would have.
Yeah, I'll have to jump in there, Aiden. But my strategy around Michigan on Monday night, when we had a caution about 20 laps in, we pitted and just took a splash of fuel and saved those tyres for the end of the race.
So that hits a nail on the head of exactly what I thought would have happened there, Paul. So great minds think alike. But we are green again for the 3rd round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. Look at this at the back, but we currently have Matt Payton showing a clean set of heels at the front off the start. Dave Oliver in second, Trav Mason, Steve Hoppett, Damon May, Brian Bullock, Garth Duffy, Norman Clark. Ruben Phelps is going backwards at a mile an hour at the moment. Not sure what's happening there, but Matt Payton with a great job off the start there with Dave Oliver right behind him, guys.
Yeah, it was definitely a bit of a check-up or something off that start. The first 4 cars got a great jump there and left the rest behind.
Yeah, and Ruben's gone back to 16th. I'm just watching people. Sean Stamper's down back to 19th as well. Andy Barber, who didn't qualify that well after practicing. He qualified out of 10. He's back in 16th at the moment. The biggest mover, though, is the leader of the race at the moment, 28, Matt Payton. What a great job by Matt at the moment. Up 22 spots from his 23rd starting position, leading the field at the moment. Dave Oliver there in second. Trav Mason up 10 spots out of starting 13th. And Steve Hoppett up into 4th. So you blink and you miss it, guys. These weren't the guys at the front, and now they are. So 17 laps into 125. I'm sure there's a lot more to get excited about as we go to the back end of the race.
Well, it's all about now just hitting your marks, but it doesn't look like it's playing out like that. The top 3 have sort of just bridged the gap, and then you got probably about a 5-car battle behind. But we're riding on board with this top 3, and Patton, Oliver, and Mason. Well, I don't know whether they're fighting for sheep stations or just trying to click into the next gear, but you've got the that line, the high line across the straights, and then you cut in down here like these guys are doing it, or maybe only one of them, as they proved me wrong. But so it looks like different lines are being taken.
Yeah, they definitely are, Pete. But where you see what Matt's doing at the front there, he's not really cutting in that much. You'll see that line, just that black line just above the white line. I'd like to say that's lower mid-track, as you see Matt try and take that line there. He's gone lower than that there, so that's going to not help him on exit. But around about where the 28 car there is of, sorry, Matt's already been passed for the lead, so that was Dave Oliver. So around where you see Matt in the 28 car, you'll see him starting to run it higher and higher, especially if he gets some help here on the outside. You'll see that he might sacrifice a little bit through middle, but coming off here, he's going to get a lot of run around the outside and drag up. And if he has someone to help him around the outside there, it's really going to help, because this inside run, it really binds up, especially through the apex of 1 and 2. It's not really showing me what I want to show you guys at the moment as we see the front guys going to that line I just said. So they're wiser to that. They're going, okay, my car's not being able to sit down there that long. I'm going to move myself up mid to 3/4 track. So, there is a wreck by the looks of it. Oh, we're under yellow again. But yeah, definitely there, guys. You did see how they were positioning their cars a little bit more mid-track than what they did earlier in the stint. But now 20 laps in, 105 to go. Who's going to dice it and try and get tyres, or who isn't? But that incident there, it looks like the car on the outside, the red car, the car on the inside didn't really give him enough room on the outside, and Andy's just got caught up in that by the looks of it.
Oh, the plot thickens, doesn't it? But look at him. He's still got the power down, and he gets it down as we're still riding on board with this replay. And that's going to cost him a lot of time in the pits. And, there's probably only one car that didn't take their fast repair. And, you wouldn't be a betting man to think that that guy that just was heavily damaged was the guy that didn't take his fast repair. But what's going through his head? I can't remember the driver that didn't take his fast repair, Aiden. I'm not too sure if I'm dropping you in it, but as we go under cautions, and thanks, PJ, it's Weston. What do you think they'll be going through Weston's mind? Should he pit? Should he not?
Tim Weston's 8 laps down, so he definitely at the moment, he's still in pit lane taking his repairs, so he hasn't turned on his fast repair. So that's Tim Weston's night done, unfortunately, after starting out of 7th position. But here we see people transitioning through pit lane now. Who's going to take tyres? We will bring one of the drivers up after this pit lane period just to get an insight and to see what is happening and what they're thinking. So we'll let them go through pit lane, and we'll bring one of the drivers up shortly.
And while we're just pacing around on the caution, so we've got a little bit of info about our sponsor there. So Cube Retro Radio, you can actually find them online at www.cube, so C-U-B-E, radio.online. And they actually play 80s, 90s, retro, pop, rock and dance. So bit of a throwback to the era back in the day before the 2000s there.
That'll suit you on a Friday night, Paul, after a couple of quiet whiskies, mate. You wouldn't mind a few 80s, 90s retros pop music, wouldn't you?
Oh, definitely, yeah, probably. I was born late 80s, so,
Or are you more the Macarena style?
Oh, I don't know about that one. Maybe maybe Beach Boys and, a bit of ABBA and Bee Gees and stuff like that. Oh, I can't go past a bit of MJ rocking on sometimes.
Yeah, can't go wrong with a bit of black and white old MJ, mate. But, we get excited talking about our terrible music taste or good music taste, depending what you listen to. We have a special guest up in the booth at the moment, Sean Stamper, United States of America. Sean, you got a copy?
Yes, sir. Got you.
Mate, Sean currently sitting P11 up 5 spots from his starting position. I've done a bit of racing with you actually lately with a couple other people in the NextGen car. We're at Michigan tonight, doing a great job there in 11th. How's the race panning out so far, mate?
It's good. It's good so far. There was a couple of accidents in front of me, and maybe my luck will continue here.
How do you think the car's driving? Are you having a lot of tyre wear? Did you take tyres in that pit?
No, I did not take tires. I can't tell a whole lot of difference since I started.
Yeah, righto. So it's pretty much just send it. It hasn't really had tyre drop at the moment.
No, sir.
No worries. Well, mate, we'll let you go because I know we're about to go green. We brought you up really late, so we do wish you all the best. Hopefully we're talking to you like we did in the last round, I believe, as a podium getter in the Full Throttle Next Gen series. So, mate, we wish you all the best, and hopefully we're talking to you at the end of the broadcast.
All right, thank you.
No worries. There we go, guys. Sean Stamper, United States of America. How good is it to have all these Americans, all the New Zealanders, all the Australians, everyone joining this series? But we're about to go green. Dave Oliver does lead us off to the green. We'll put Sean back up into his race channel. Paul and Peter, I'll let you take him to the green.
Yeah, it's good to see him restart, and it's good to see the nationalities, the different countries, especially America. They love the NASCARs. We go green now, and Paul, you've got all the details. I probably jumped in. You should take the thing away. We've got Oliver, Peyton, May, Bollock, Mason, and Malone, Hoppert, Clark, Campbell. Oh, look at this. Oh, something happened a little bit further back, but oh, look at this. It's the mid to high line, I think, that's working so far.
Yeah, definitely the mid line will be the quickest, especially through the corner. And as you get the exit, you want to be up in that high line with the wall draft as well. You'll just drive around those guys that are on the inside.
Yeah, you see Adam Malone there with Norman Clark, I believe it is, in behind him or in front of him. Oh no, Norman Clark's in behind him, so I think that might be Matt Payton in front of him as well, trying to make that outside groove work at the moment. Not enough cars up there to help them, so they're sort of going to drop back in single file at the moment, but they did have a look there and try and make it work, but they've sat in single file. Matt Payton doing a great job, still up 17 spots on his starting position. So as he ducks it down the inside there of the 131 of Steve Hoppert, trying to make that move through 3 and 4. Adam Malone trying to follow him through. They're about to go 3 wide. Steve Hoppert, Adam Malone, Steve Hoppert. Adam Malone has taken Steve Hoppert into the grass. That hasn't brought out a caution. He's still holding it, but yeah, Adam Malone there just didn't get out of the gas. Steve's going to hit. No, Steve's done a great job, and he hasn't brought out the caution, so very unfortunate for Steve there. That is almost night done.
Yeah, well, I thought, I'm pretty sure, though, Aiden and PJ as well, you are both more NASCAR and Cup car racing than I am, but when it's an iRacing controlled safety caution or pace car, I'm pretty certain that it's if a car hits a wall that brings out a yellow, but I could be wrong if you could elaborate.
Yeah, generally iRacing is on caution, so unless the car spins and creates blockage in the track or self-car spin and stops on the track, that's when you'll usually get a yellow. Steve did a great job there keeping the car straight, and that's why no yellow come out. But talking of Steve Hoppert, I did bring him up in the broadcast booth, and Steve, sorry to bring you up unannounced, mate, but you're up in 5th there. Adam Malone got a little bit of a run on the outside, on the inside rather. As a commentator, not really going to have a comment on what happened. You could all see it on the broadcast, but unfortunate, mate, from being in P5, and great save.
Mate, yeah, thank you. How are you? I hope you're having a good stream, good broadcast. Mate, I've been having an absolute blinder tonight and just driving the best I possibly can. Just got a little bit of a tap. You said it was Adam. Okay, I know who to beat up after the race now.
Well, hopefully you do that politely while we're under broadcast. But, mate, you were racing well at the front. It was unfortunate, nothing intentional, of course, as always with these drivers. But you might make yourself back up there, mate. You've still got another, I believe, 97 laps to go. So a long way to go.
It's not a problem at all. These things happen. We're racing fast. We're racing tight. And it's been exceptionally clean tonight. just a little bit of a rub, but I'm glad that I managed to keep the car off the walls and that sort of stuff. So I'm just going to put my head down and bum up, and I'm just going to go for it and see what I can do.
That's all you can do, mate. Well, while we let you go, we might have to bring Adam Malone up into the broadcast booth and get his version of events.
I think you better move Steve back before we bring Adam up, or there could be a punch on in the booth.
Yeah, we'll move Steve back up. Not sure where I'm moving him to, but I'll move him back up there. But all right, we'll move Steve up there now into his race channel. But we will bring Adam Malone down into the broadcast booth because we do that unannounced. That's what we do on the InterSim Esports Network. No, we don't really. We do apologise to him, but I'll just have a look where Adam Malone is at the moment in reference to the pack, and it looks like he has a little bit of a gap around him. No, he doesn't. So we won't bring Adam up quite yet because he seems a little bit busy. He's got Michael Shaw in front of him at the moment. We'll leave him there, but we will be talking to Adam Malone about that incident, no doubt, guys, as we go on to the back end of this race.
End of the race. We've still got about 95 laps to go.
So we'll talk to him at lap 70.
Oh, yes, see, I knew that. Using more NASCAR than me, I'm thinking, okay, we're in the back end of the race. We're only 32 done. Wow, how quick is this going to go? But, 31 out of 125, it has disappeared just before us. Was riding on board with this sort of front to mid pack right now, and they're just clicking along, Aiden. They're just clicking along. They're just following the guy behind them. It's just, who's that there? The 09 car there, just having to check up, and that's Norman Clark, and he's got some cars around here, but they're all been really sensible, and it's good to hear that you said, Aiden, that they've been well behaved, or it was the driver we had in commentary said that they've been well behaved. So that's all you ask for. And have a look at this. This looks like the real thing. Where else would you rather be on a Friday night, mate?
Mate, I wouldn't want to be anywhere but the InterSim Esports Network commentating on the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen Cup Series. Like, why would you not want to do that? Where else would you want to be? It's Friday night. You could go to the pub, you could go and hang out with your friends, but we hang out with our friends here on the InterSim Esports Network. So everyone tuning in from Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, we thank you for tuning in, and we hope we're bringing you a little bit of quality here on a Friday night to sit around with your wife, your family, your friends, supporting your loved ones, whoever's racing tonight, and enjoying the broadcast that we're bringing to you live on the InterSim Esports Network. But we do see Dave Oliver at the front there, leading the way with Damon May in P2, Brian Bullock P3, Trav Mason P5, Demetrius Agathos up 14 positions off his starting position in P5, and Matt Payton still staying there, becoming that pest, sitting there in 6th position, 17 spots up from his starting position. So we are 33 laps into 125 laps, ladies and gentlemen. There is a long way to go. Michael Shaw looks a little bit racy there, sitting back in around about the 9th position, as you can see in their orange, black and white car. He's looking a little bit racy. He does love these cars. We've had him on the broadcast a couple of times. He's looking like he wants to make that move there around Tom Pritchard and Brett Campbell. Brett Campbell having a great race there up in P7 at the moment too. He's had a couple of unfortunate races in the last outing, so he's doing a great job there in P7, up 8 positions on his starting position. So it's anyone's at the moment, ladies and gentlemen, but we are 34 laps now into 125. Michael Shaw doing a great job. That outside line's really starting to work. You see where this line's trying to stay together. Those 2 inside cars you can see there now with Norman Clark and Brett Campbell are going to get left behind. Adam Malone making a run on the outside too now.
It's a little bit like that too, and I'm seeing that as well, and I'm learning. I'm learning a lot, but you see that high line, like you were saying, is like they're learning on the fly, because you can see, the first 4, they're in sync and they take the corner, and then the other, they all zip in like a zipper. It's actually good to see, mate. If anyone says NASCAR's boring, which no one on iRacing does, that I can remember, but I do remember in real life some people saying that. But I tell you, you get behind the wheel, be it in real life, that's just a dream of ours, or on iRacing, and that's doable. It's hard work. It doesn't matter. It's hard work. You got to follow the bumper in front of you and have the trust. And look at these guys. There's a massive amount of trust. Look how close this high line is, and you've got the 5 cars in the midfield. They're doing well as well, but I think the high line is going to show now. But Oliver, May and Bullock's your top three. And you know what? Lap 36 of 125. We still got plenty to go. 99, in fact. Oh, 89. Not too sure. Not too sure.
Yeah, but you're exactly right there, Pete, where you said about going around an oval. A lot of people that joining and watching our broadcasts for the first time, we don't just broadcast oval, but predominantly we do run a lot of oval. And Paul and I and everyone that we do actually come from road racing background. We enjoy that, but something about oval has drawn us to it. So for anyone watching and thinks oval's just turning left, it is a lot harder than what you think, especially running so close to each other at 330 kilometers an hour, being a millimeter or two apart, being able to manage that tyre wear, that fuel burn rather, having that strategy. And when you're in these cars, and tonight, they've already been in the car racing for over half an hour. So by the time we get to the end of this race, they've nearly been racing for 2 hours. So that's a long time to have concentration around these racetracks. So it's definitely not easy, and it makes it even harder when you bring these cars to road courses with lots of horsepower, very small brake discs, and pretty much terrible handling because they're meant to go left. So this series isn't going to see the road courses, but it is definitely a different beast to drive as what you would expect to.
Yeah, definitely. And lap 39 of 125, have a look at them go. And they're starting to gap now. They're just grabbing a partner. It's what use, and I've said it probably about 3 or 4 times. It is a almost, and I do have my inverted commas up there, almost super speedway stuff. But hey, Paul, you're not getting off too lightly here, mate. You had a win here the other night. Bring it to life for the viewers. What would you be doing if you were just, say, Campbell down in 14th position?
Let me go back to Campbell here. So
under the bus.
We have to see what he's
Straight
doing
under
here
it.
at the moment, just to jump in here. But thanks for throwing me under that bus, or more precisely, 28 NextGen Cup cars. But anyways, so Brett, definitely not running that high into the wall and giving it a bit of a kiss almost. But it looks like he's just hanging on the back of this pack here. He's got Tristan Koch behind him. He doesn't want to drop too far off there. He should be able to get a bit of a draft through those corners. But if you are sitting back that little bit, the pack in front of him is actually going to pull away. Even with that draft through the corner. So when they get to the exit of the corner, there'll be a bigger push from those cars in front of him, so they will leave him behind. But it looks like he's just hanging on there, and it's not a bad thing to do. Save a little bit of fuel as well. You might be able to get a bit of a shorter pit stop if you don't take tyres and you pit stop and jump a few cars as well if there's caution.
And what I'm interested for, lads, is Matt Payton's moved himself back to 21st after being right up there, and he's actually done the quickest lap of the race with a 39.28. So he's moved backwards at a really, really quick rate of knots. So not sure why he's moved back. He's probably because he didn't take those tyres, but a lot of people didn't either.
No, he did make a pit stop a couple of laps ago, so I do believe he went a lap down to the rest of the field there as well.
Okay, that makes sense. I'm just waiting for my live timing to catch up and tell me that. It's currently saying he's on the lead lap, but not. He's definitely going to be. No, it's showing that he's catching up at the moment. So not sure, but he's definitely going to be on a different fuel strategy to some of the guys in front of him because he didn't pit earlier, and these guys, some of them have been through pit lane twice. So Tom Pritchard, Michael Shaw, who's currently sitting 6th and 7th, have already been through pit lane twice. There we go. Okay, it's just clicked over there. So, but yeah, Demetrius Agathos, Tom Pritchard, Michael Shaw have been through pit lane twice. Dean Guilfoyle in 17th, up 8 spots, has been through 4 times. So he may have used one of those fast repairs. But Dave Oliver at the front there showing a clean set of heels. Damon May 2nd. Demetrius Agathos doing a great job in 3rd. Really just running that field out at the moment. Brian Bullock keeping it solid there in fourth. Tom Pritchard, who's fighting me for another series actually at the moment in P6. So he's been doing really good lately. Michael Shaw with a great run up 11 spots into 7. Adam Malone 8th, Norman Clark 9th, and rounding out your top 10 here on the InterSim Esports Network for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here from Michigan International Speedway. On lap 44 is Michael Budge.
It's clicking over the laps too, aren't they? It's just a matter of consistency. That's the only thing that these drivers here on track, be it on iRacing, sitting at home in the comfort and safety of their own homes, and that's all that's going through their head is consistency. Hit the mark, stay clean, because you know what? You can go 124 and a half laps out of 125 and bin it, and all that work's gone to the end. So it's all the work up, and this is, or the build up rather, and this is what Aiden and PJ and all the boys here at the Full Throttle NASCAR series has taught me in the short time is it's a patience game. If people say NASCAR is lazy, it's definitely not. Look at them go now. How easy does that look? Just look at them. They're in line. They're on a bank track. It's a piece of piss, isn't it? No, it's not. It's all about strategy. You can just pit whenever you want, or you can pit with the leaders and hope that they've got it right. But you know what? They can get it wrong. You can see, and if you watch and hang on to this middle sector of the race, it's going to finish, and it's going to finish off very fiery. And just one name, just to prove that point, is Ruben Phelps. He's down in 19th position. You know what? He's not even worried down there. I'm not too sure if he's had no errors or he's had many of errors. But I know Ruben, and I know he knows NASCAR, and he knows almost Super Speedway, as I'm described. He's going to finish well here, and he's not stressed down in the position he is in 19th. But have a look at that, the mid to high line, Aiden and PJ. Use the real experts here for the NASCAR Cup, and it's actually it's awesome. I like to look at these next gen cars.
Yeah, what you're saying with Ruben there, I'm sure he's a bit worried. It looks like he's got a damage up the right-hand side of his car, and he's just gone a lap down with the leaders taking him. So I'm sure he is worried now. He must have got into a bit of damage there with one of the early instants, so he's moved backwards at 1,000,000 miles an hour after starting off pole, so he wouldn't be happy with this one. Michael Shaw up there on 6th. But what you were saying there too with the NASCARs, definitely not, mate. They are hard to drive. There's been a few road races we've seen come across into NASCAR and haven't come straight up the front early. So it does prove, or some of them may have been quick, but they haven't been able to convert into a solid finish, which is 9 times out of the 10 my issue too, to be honest. But it is definitely harder than it looks, but we have a good bunch of guys here at the front. Michael Shaw having a great run now, moved into the top 5. So doing a great job, but it's not easy to be able to run these ovals, especially it's the patience, exactly what you mentioned there earlier, Peter, is if it's me driving with 49 laps into 125 and you look and you go 49, okay, we're nearly halfway there shortly, and like being able to just rein yourself back in, and you've all got to, we'll all say when it comes to oval, you need to position your car to be in a place to win the race at the final stop. And that's where you're going to win it.
20 in that.
Yeah.
Sorry to talk over you. Buy your ticket to your last 20.
Last 20, last 40, depending whether you think it's going to go green to the end. But in saying that, you need to pretend that it's going to go green to the end, because if you bank on a green, white checker or a yellow, you're going to put your car back in there in a place that if it does, that you're not going to be able to fight to probably win it anyway. So you want to be able to race from that last green pit stop pretty hard to be able to have track position, either 1 to win it or podium it, or 2 to have track position for when you go into the green, white checker. But it's okay here from the commentary booth to have that opinion, but I'd much rather be where Dave Oliver, Damon May, Brian Bullock, Trav Mason and Michael Shaw are at the moment, although Michael Shaw's now trying to navigate around a driver at the moment. I believe he's just been passed. Yeah, he has. Oh, hang on. It's all moving so quick. Michael Shaw's now gone to the lead.
Oh, it's a busy pit lane, mate. That's it. It throws us all off. we're watching the live team timing rather, and how good is it from SDK Gaming? But that's the reason as we're you got a little bit lost there with the timing there. Aiden, have a look at that busy pit lane. Five
Yeah, I
or
was
six
too.
cars drop in, timing just goes. Well, yeah, I have no idea.
Yeah, I was too busy watching the timing and not the broadcast, so my apologies, and it just went haywire. So exactly what you saw with Michael Shaw leading at the moment, and Tom Pritchard in P2, Demetrius Agathos still out there in P3. Norman Clark from New Zealand also. How good is the contingency from New Zealand tonight? And Norman Clark's
Contingency
just
with
gone
New
into the
Zealand. Oh, mate, Australia and New Zealand, we're like no, we're like cheese and crackers, aren't we? We're really close. You know, you can pay any country out in the world, as long as it's all a joke, it's all in fun. But you know, especially it's well received from the Kiwis and vice versa. But back to the racing lap 52 of 125. Well, hey Aiden, I have no idea who's going to win, and I'm pretty sure you're going to second that.
I don't, but usually it is a tradition here on the InterSim Esports Network that Paul and I will have a little bit of a commentators friendly, not bet, but opinion on who we think's going to win the race. So I think with three of us in the broadcast booth tonight, I think now is as good a time as any to probably set our bets on who we think's going to win round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here from Michigan International. And Peter, I'm going to throw you under the 32 car NASCAR Next Gen Cup cars, as you threw Paul under the bus earlier. And I'm going to ask you first, who is going to win this one, mate?
Oh, you know what? I'm going out of left field because everyone that knows me, I'm a left field player. And, you know, a left field player under the bus right now, struggling to breathe. You know, Barber, he's back in 17. He's running the 05. Yeah, well, you know, 05, that's Brocky's number. Barber, you're going to win this in the Toyota.
Good call. Andy's been doing a good job lately, and he's actually got his Coca-Cola sponsorship on, as he always does. He loves the Coca-Cola car, so don't know whether that's a throwback to Wayne Gardner, whether he likes motorbikes and supercars back in that era, but he always loves running the Coca-Cola livery, as you can see there. But Paul, now I'm going to throw you under the bus before I answer it. Who's your go-to?
Well, based on pit stop strategies here, I think Mr. Matt Padden is going to win this one.
Oh,
the man with all the data. He's the man with all the data. Punched it all together while we were answering. We should have thrown him under the bus first before he had a time to crunch that data. But he's the guy with the screens there, Aiden. I don't know. Maybe he's right. Maybe he's wrong.
Well, the way he's gone lately in this series, he's been close, so he's due for a win. We'll see. I could think of worse people to go for, but and none of them actually are in this race, so it could be anyone's. But I'm actually thinking, no one's asked me mine, so I'm just going to tell you. Mine would have to be, I reckon, if I'm looking at, I'm thinking. Oh, it's a big one. I'm thinking Tristan Koch.
Oh, back in 9th position too. Number 550. He's actually in the pit lane too as well. Oh, look at that. If I just look, not
Can I change it?
Overlays.
Can I change it? Can I?
Can I? No, lock it in, Eddie. It's done. No, of course you can.
No. We'll stick with it.
What you could do, though, is you could go down to pit road there and help him change his tyres so he gets out of pit lane faster.
No, that takes too much effort. Too much effort. I'm happy. I'm sure he's got pit crew that can do that for him. So, no, that is fine. He can do that. But he might come back and win yet. But I reckon that Matt Payton 1 lap down, first car of the lead lap. Oh, it's lap down. I think that's a really good choice there, Paul. As we're going to see Tom Pritchard, Michael Shaw, Demetrius Agathos, Michael Budge, Garth Duffy, all those guys at the front at the moment in the next 5 to 10 laps blink and have to come in and make their pit stop, which is really going to settle this field out as we are nearly halfway through round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series here from Michigan International Speedway.
And looking at that pit stops here, so I think Norman Clark might be the front runner here at the moment. He's just tucked in behind Ruben Phelps. So as Norman's got a little bit of a gap there, almost 1.5 seconds here on Matt. So I think Norman could effectively be our race leader this time around.
Yeah, it looks like he is. Norman's always that quiet player. He sort of just sits back there. He's done it a lot in the super speedways this week as well. Norman races in a lot of other leagues around Australia, New Zealand, and America. So he's played his cards right tonight. He loves these next gen cars. He's done really well in them in a couple of these races lately. So yeah, he's definitely put himself in a good position right there behind Ruben. He's just using Ruben at the moment to try and drag out that gap over himself and Matt at the moment. But they must be going through pit lane because the live timing is going nuts at the moment.
Yeah,
so just waiting for that to catch up on itself. But Norman Clark doing a great job there.
Yeah, he's got the 2-second jump now over Dave Oliver, who was the who was the race leader before he went into pit lane there. So he might get gobbled up by the bigger pack that's coming up behind him shortly.
He may do, but we'll see how well he can work here with Ruben in front to see whether they can catch. So Ruben is a lap behind, but they are fellow New Zealanders, so they probably will work together. Let's just keep an eye on that gap. But that interval, as you can see, is coming down really quickly. 1.38, 37, 36, 35, 34. Coming down really quickly. So, Paul, as you just mentioned, don't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if we see that second group catch up onto the back of Norman Clark in the next 1 or 2 laps.
Yeah, well, doesn't that look different? Look at that GT500 there. That looks different. I haven't seen a close-up view of these next gen, but have a look at it from this rear chase, and it's good to see such a long field, but you're just about to kiss the rear of the guy in front of him as we ride on board with our leader, number 9, Norman Clark.
Yeah, Norman Clark is the gentleman of sim racing. Everyone that is part of the sim racing world that does have anything to do with Norman would agree with that. He is the gentleman of sim racing. So great to see him leading at the front at the moment, up 10 spots in his starting position. But Dave Oliver, Damon May, Trav Mason, Tom Pritchard, they are coming in that back group. So Norman doesn't have it to himself at the moment. The only thing he does have to help is his fellow New Zealander a lap down there, and Ruben Phelps in front of him. So not sure what Ruben's going to do here. He's probably going to let Norman go and not fight this, which looks like he's done. And once they all pass Ruben, it's going to be a fight for the win here. We've probably only got one more stop to go under green to make it to the end, I believe. Not sure on their fuel burn, but with their tyres, they might have to double stint. Not sure, but it looks like they'll probably have one more stop around about lap 85. So we'll see how we go as we see Dave Oliver at the moment making that move for the lead of the race. And Dave Oliver will lead lap 62 of 125 here at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series from Michigan International Speedway. But Pete and Paul, we've now just nearly put ourselves halfway through round 3. Only a couple of cautions. What's been your favourite part about tonight's racing so far?
Let's start with Paul. Paul, I threw you under the bus, and you returned serve. So even though I spoke, that's just to reiterate me throwing you under the bus. So, hey, Mr. Paul Jackson, even though you're busy, with all the cameras, and we love what you're doing here on the InterSim Network. Hey, Aiden, can I throw him under the bus? Thank you. Aiden said yes. So, PJ, what's your best moment?
Well, I can't breathe at the moment because I've just been run over. But, yeah, I've been thrown under that bus about 5 times in the last 30 seconds. So,
wait.
I'm going to be flat as a pancake here. But, yeah, there's a few little different pit strategies from a few of these guys. So, obviously, Matt Padden was one of the earlier ones to pit. And I think Brett Campbell followed him shortly after, but it doesn't look too bad for Matt sitting on the back of this lead pack here from the earlier pit stop. I think he pitted maybe 10-15 laps earlier than the rest of these guys, so it doesn't look like it's affected him too much. He's having a bit of a run there, and he's actually gone around Norman Clark there, who pitted quite late to Matt. So it's interesting to see how the fuel burn's going to go, I guess, over the rest of the race, the next 60 laps. So one stop hopefully for Matt. Yeah, if he doesn't have enough in that tank to run it out for another stop, it could hurt him in the long run here.
Look at them all grouping up here as we're watching them up on screen. It's just, it's so orchestrated. It's almost rehearsed. But all the viewers that are on the InterSim network, oh, look how close that was.
Michael Shaw got massively loose out of 2 there. He was Speedway style up into the outside wall, but kept it off the car in front. Now he's making the move for the lead, and we've got a new leader here at round 3 of the Full Throttle Next Gen series here on the InterSim Esports Network, and it's Michael Shaw. So all that hard work has now been undone. I believe it'll go to the lap prior. I'm not quite sure, but if that isn't the case, Michael Shaw will lead us away from the green.
Yeah, that was a huge dive into turn 1 there from Shorey, and put the moves on Tom and Dave there just as the caution come out. So it'll be interesting to see if he actually maintains that P1, but we might just flip back to see what brought that caution out.
The man with all the buttons as well. Does a good job, PJ. Is this an accident by himself?
Oh, loose off a 4. Yeah, very unfortunate incident. Not sure who that was. I didn't quite catch the number.
Definitely a soft caution from anyone's measures, I think.
Yeah, considering what Steve Hoppert did earlier, that's really weird that brought out the caution.
Nah, I think it's a bit further up here. Let's go to this one here. There we go.
There we go. It's the Coca-Cola man, Andy Barber.
That's more like it.
So is Andy going to keep it off the outside wall there? As he's done a really great job to keep it off the inside wall. Looks like he's had a little bit of contact. That might be, not sure who that is. Yeah, not sure what happened there, but unfortunate incident. But Andy's tank slapped it down the back straight. You can see it coming to the inside wall. He's grabbed opposite lock, corrected it, doing a great job there to keep it off the inside wall, but now he's overcorrected it and he's about to go up into the outside wall. So 330 kilometres an hour. Can he keep it off the outside wall? And no, he can't. Into the outside wall, and hopefully he hasn't used his fast repair because he's going to need every bit of that after that.
Oh, definitely. And you know what? And we did slow that down. And by we mean our EP, Paul Jackson. We did slow that down a bit. But you know what? That would have been scary even on the sim because the car control, it took him about 5 or 6 goes in eye blink. And it was there, it was there, it was there. He was going to save it. And then, like you called, Aiden, just, it was gone. But, well, what do you know? Lap 67 of 125, and we're under caution.
We are, but we're going to bring the leader of the race, Michael Shaw, up into the broadcast booth, and we will see what happens under pit. We won't actually have a chat to him until we see what happens here, but we will bring that to you shortly, ladies and gentlemen. So they're coming around under yellow, 67 laps of 125 here on a Friday night for the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series brought to you here on the InterSim Esports Network. But up in the booth, we have the leader of a race of the 07 car, Michael Shaw. Have you got a copy?
I do, guys. How's it going?
Yeah, good, Michael, mate. Up 17 spots on your starting position. Next Gen Cars, Michigan, Michael Shaw. All 3 of them are equaling some great pace tonight.
Mate, yeah, I sort of got involved with, sort of couldn't stop in that first caution. So I tried to get a fix and I was slow. So I got it the fast repair on the second one. But after that, this car's just running so well. It's like running on rails, you know what I mean? Like coming on the inside of, taking 2 positions was quite easy. I just couldn't believe it. It's just the car's feeling really good. So I might as well send it.
Well, funny you say that. We did make mention on the broadcast you had a really bold move there into 3 and 4 to take those 2 positions from 3rd into 1st, which puts you in the position you are now before you go green. But from seeing how the race has transpired, 68 laps into 125, do you think P1's where you want to be at the moment, or would you rather be back a couple?
No, I definitely want to be at the front here, away from everything. So yeah, I'm happy where I am at the moment.
No worries, mate. Well, before you go, quick shout out to anyone. You're off pole for this restart, so a little bit of a quick shout out to anyone.
Yep,
Third
just
round of the full
use
throttle night.
guys for the race and for broadcasting and Steve running it.
No worries, mate. We'll let you go back up, and you're about to go green. So best of luck. There we go, guys. So there's Michael Shaw as he takes the green flag, but Paul and Peter, I'll let you take these couple of laps. I'm just going to walk away for a second and grab a drink of water. So I'll be back shortly, and I'll take over from you guys.
Alrighty, I think it's my turn to get some thrown under bus action here.
Again,
So,
still, but here we go.
Yeah, so Peter, obviously you do a lot of broadcasting on road circuits and that across a couple of different platforms there. So you said you've been slowly learning things here and there with the oval series. So what's some of your, I don't know, probably the biggest thing that you've learned and discovered about oval racing?
My biggest things that I've discovered in oval racing is I don't race it because I'm no good. So I call it, and then you don't call it too early, because if you call it, you make a little bit of an arsey of yourself, and you call it wrong. Not because that your judgment's wrong, it's because everything happens so damn quick on an oval. It doesn't matter if you're short track racing. It doesn't matter if you're at Michigan here at a sort of super speedway, as I got it described to me. But have a look at now, as we've got Smith, Shaw, Agathis, Pritchard, Mason's your top five. Duffy's just out of it, but look at this, the 5, 6, 7 cars right here. The bottom line, now having a look there, PJ, I think the bottom line, it wants to be strong just on the early start of this restart. Have a look at them now. They're all making their way down to the bottom. What have we got? 3, 6, 9. That's about 11 cars down on the bottom. We didn't see that in the last 20 laps. They're all trying to go in the high. Maybe it's rubbering up.
Oh yeah, I've got to bring your attention to the paint schemes of all of those cars that are on the inside line there. And have a look at that. That's quite a few cars in the team there. So they're all helping to push each other through to get all those cars up to the front there. So it's quite a large group of guys from the same team there.
Oh, it definitely is, but you know, it's all for TV, so you know they're all fighting for the championship. But definitely look at the you see on top left of the screen, you got Smith, Agathis, Mathis, Duffy, Budge, and the names just go on. But you have a look at the next column over, and you got Toyota, Ford, Chevrolet, Toyota, Chevrolet, Ford, Chevrolet, Chevrolet. There's probably too many Chevrolets there, but hey, it's an awesome mix in manufacturers here, and you know these guys. You got 3 wide in the mid pack, you got single file in the front pack, and you've got single file in the rear rather. So yeah, the rear field on the NASCAR circuit. Just to reiterate on that, but yeah, there's different strategies and people have pit different times. As you see, Cam just take the pits now, and you'll see on the graphic on the bottom of the screen, pit stop, he's numbered number 23, his first initial CAM. The number that keeps revolving, the white number, is the transit lane, the transit time in the lane, and where you're flashing pit. Now you'll see that stop when he starts to get service. There you go. 6.8 seconds for his service time. So, and the other number which disappeared. Thanks, Paul. But yeah, so you'll see that throughout most broadcasts. But have a look at this, Smith. They're all just single file now. There's a couple trying their fate too wide, but there's still plenty of time there. Paul, take the reins, mate. I can just keep talking and talking and talking.
Yeah, that pit number that you just mentioned as that disappeared, so he'd already made his exit on the pit exit there. But yeah, if you got a fresh set of boots under your car there, Oh, we've just got a yellow come out here. I'll cut myself short here. See what caused that, because I'll say that's going to be further back in the pack there.
Yeah, there was a little bit out of, let's say, backfield as our EP goes to a instant replay. Oh, look at this. Yeah, probably didn't know he's there. There was, I don't like to get into the race control. We know no one does, but I don't think there was anything in there as you see the car number 60 just get turned around and then wind flaps doing a good job, kept him off the wall, and he's still smoking them up there. But yeah, I don't know, Paul, how do you see it?
Yeah.
Nah.
We shouldn't commentate on that one, I think. We might get a little hand slap from the teacher there, but...
I'm back. I want a hand slap from the teacher. No.
Give her an apple.
I've just jumped in and seen that, so no comment from me either, guys. But thanks for covering me there while I was gone.
That's all right. Welcome back into the hot seat again, Aiden. But
when do I get thrown under the bus, gents?
Yellow again. It's back under yellow. Come on, Aiden. If you just walk away and come back again, maybe we'll get some green racing. But you've had the knack of just coming back in, and look at this. Same old signs. Pit lane busy.
Well, mate, I always say we want to bring content here on the InterSim Esports Network. So every time I want content, I just go and get a drink. So.
Well,
there we go. Ladies and gentlemen, if you are watching the broadcast across Facebook, YouTube or Twitch, put a comment and say, Aiden, go get a drink if you want to see action.
Aiden, go get a drink. That was verbally, but still.
Well, I've just got one, so you have to wait a little bit longer, gents. But they are going through pit lane at the moment. Daniel Smith leading his way. Michael Budge in second. Matt Payton third, who was just involved in that incident. But they have the race off pit lane at the moment. Our live timing's going to go crazy for a minute until they pass the start-finish line their next way around. But what a race, guys. We're 77 laps into 125 for round 3. Paul, I know you commentated with me for the first 2, and obviously you're commentating again tonight, as you will every round. But, mate, the first 2 rounds was sensational racing, considering it was super speedways and you're always waiting for the big one. But it hasn't disappointed again for round 3 here at Michigan.
No, so these bigger tracks are always a lot of fun to drive. The super speedways, Daytona, Talladega, there's also the iRacing super speedway. So I believe that is on the cards in the schedule somewhere there, quite possibly. I'd have to go have a look at that, so don't hold me to that one. But those super speedways are always a lot of fun to drive, just full stick, flat out, and don't have to worry about tyres and that. But it can cause a few cautions over the race as well from time to time, depending on drivers and how close they're rubbing, and rub someone up the wrong way there. But it's more so my favourite over the short tracks, that's for sure.
Yeah, I struggle around Michigan, to be honest. I'll be the first to say that. I've done a couple of officials this week. I've done some league races at Michigan lately. I really struggle with it through 3 and 4. I'd like to think they're the easiest corners, but it's the biggest corner you can lose a lot of time. But in saying that, I haven't done NextGen around here, so a lot different. But Michigan looks like a really simple track pull, but it definitely isn't, is it?
No, I'll give you a little tip with 3 and 4. Just ease off the gas a little bit earlier than you normally would. And I even, over the longer run, sometimes you can just apply a tiny little bit of brake, and you'll get that car slowed down a little bit into 3, and you'll have a better run out of it in 4 onto that straight, and you'll actually pull away from the guys behind you.
Well, there we go, guys. We just heard it first from the man, Paul Jackson, the leader of the InterSim Esports Network, giving you all the tips around Michigan. So there we go, guys. If you want to go well around Michigan, just tune into our channel and listen to what Paul just had to say. So there we go. He's the winner of Michigan this week in a league race. So no one best to give you advice, but we're about to go green here again from yellow. So Daniel Smith brings us to the green. Michael Budge in second, and we are green. Daniel Smith drops the hammer early, and he is gone here at round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series on the InterSim Esports Network. And we nearly had an incident right behind Daniel Smith, driving that high line, trying to get a good run out of 2. It looks like Matt Payton's using that middle line. Is he going to give Michael Budge the room on the outside? Michael Budge around the outside of Matt Payton at the moment. He's going to be right in the draft there of Daniel Smith. So Matt Payton has now just conceded that position, dropped in behind Michael Budge at the moment. Michael Budge has sat in behind Daniel Smith, so they've sorted themselves out early here, ladies and gentlemen. Michael Shaw again doing a great job up into P4. What a great job by Michael.
Yeah, all the guys are doing a good job. And how good are these restarts, to be honest? Like, I've seen dirtier restarts in real life on NASCAR tracks. And these guys, albeit on iRacing, it's not comfortable. It's definitely not comfortable. Your field of view is limited, but definitely these top guys, Smith and Budge rather, they're really they're sticking together. They're competitors. It's lap 80 of 125, 45 to go. You got Smith, Budge, Payton, Shaw, Pritchard, your top 5 as we ride on through. And this is the part of the broadcast that we said, or maybe I threw us all under the bus again. Oh, we've got to pick it up because, you know, the guys are going to get boring. But you know what? They're not. They're still within a fly ship between each other. There's still plenty of entertainment to go. And we're only just over halfway. Single file, high to mid line is what's happening up the front. And they're still trying the double file at the rear. Is that going to work, Aidan?
Well, what I can say firstly, Paul and Peter, is this is where the race is won or lost, I believe. If it does go green to the end, this is where it's won or lost. So I do not believe they can go green to the end. I don't think they can do 45 laps under green. It's going to be dependent who has another set of tyres left. I know that with these cars, it's not a really big issue with tyres, but there's definitely going to be a little bit of an advantage depending on that draft and who you pit with, as we see Michael Shaw making a big move to the inside there to try and take the lead for the second time of this race. It's 82 laps in, but I don't believe they're going to make it to the end on fuel. So right now, this stint right now in the next 20 laps is going to decide, if we do go green to the end, who is going to be a podium getter or at least in contention to, or who is not going to be. But as we see there with a freight train of about 20 cars, it is definitely anyone's. But the thing I'm more excited, because we gave our commentators tips earlier, I've got Tristan Koch, 17th position at the moment, still on the lead lap, so I'm still in for the win.
Yeah, well, it's NASCAR, and anything can happen. And Paul, you have got the W against your name, so let's cross to you. I'm not too sure the race length that you took part in, mate, but if you were racing this and if you were Shaw out in front in the 07, what would be running through your head, as everyone seems to be still trying to find their line there?
Well, just so I can rub it in first, my pick's in P2, thanks, Aidan. So,
he didn't ask that, Paul. He didn't ask that.
Yeah, right. But like I said, I just have to rub it in here. So, anyways, well, while I've got the mic, see. Yeah, if I was Shuri, I'd probably be just wanting to try and save that bit of tyre in case it does go green. As he's moved aside there, letting Matt take over the lead. Oh, Adam Malone, big lose there out of 4. Oh, this could be hairy for Adam.
Well, it's actually a nice regatta. That is very, very nice. That would have been, what do you reckon, 280 plus K an hour?
Easy. Great recovery there by Adam, but that's not his race over. He probably hasn't used his fast repair yet, and no doubt there will be another incident. But what Paul was just referencing, Michael Shaw there, maybe needs just to keep his gear a little bit. And in saying that, as soon as he said that, Michael tried to get the cut back then under Matt Payton and tried to take the lead. So Michael, he made it crystal clear before he went green again after the yellow. He doesn't want to be back there. He doesn't want to be caught up in that stuff. So he's going to be fighting really hard for the lead here. If he can work well with Matt at the moment, those guys at the back, it'll make it harder for them. But you're a sitting duck at the moment at the front, because as these guys are starting to work together, they are going to be able to make that track position eventually. But we'll see what Michael Shaw, see how Michael's dropping down there low and covering off on the guys on the inside, which has helped him now because Tom Pritchard's pushing him back to the lead underneath Matt Payton at the moment, and we have Michael Shaw back to the lead. And we're 3 wide into 3 and 4. How good is this, ladies and gentlemen? Tom Pritchard pushing, and look how far back that has hurt Matt Payton at the moment. He's gone back 3 positions into P4. So that's how quick it happens, ladies and gentlemen. We're 87 laps into 125. If it's the last lap, I don't know whether I want to be leading going into it.
You wouldn't want to be calling it, but what I'm going to say, hey PJ, you're our EP and you're doing a good job, and you're helping us out in comms as well. But you just put, it's probably the first time I commentated a race with you, but you just said your pick Patton was was leading. But have a look now. That is commentator's curse.
No, have a look. Here he comes. He's coming back up into third. So
and we've just had a comment by Dave Douglas on our stream saying go Matty. So he's going for Pato. Good to see you supporting us here, Dave. Good to see you supporting us, man. I'd love to have you on here, man. So get in and jump into one of these every now and again. It'd be good, and see you do that. So, but yeah, good to see you here supporting Matt Payton, and hopefully he goes well, mate.
Oh, just jumped into third, and we love the comments. Oh, look at that! There was a little bit of a midsection of this grid here that just went a bit wide, and they followed. And I think too, and I'll throw it to both of you because you definitely are the oval guys to talk to when it comes to this side of stuff. Can you get caught into not the battle, but the line? So if you're the leading car and you want to put someone off, is it easy for you to run high, a little bit too high, but know what you're doing in order to run the guy into the wall? Is that a thing?
I think what you said there, and I have to answer this for you, Paul, and you can correct me if I'm wrong. I think what you hit the nail on the head there, you can get caught into the battle, especially with the races being so long, and they're not won until probably the last 10 or 20 laps. And Dave, you're there watching as well, mate. You can feel free to give your opinion on this, but you can definitely get drawn into the battle, and that's been one of my biggest downfalls in racing since I started iRacing 12 months ago. But you can really get drawn into the battle instead of running your own race. So what I've found, a lot of guys that have success on the ovals is you run your own race, you run your own strategy, and you don't get brought into that battle, and you understand that the race is only won in the last 10 or 20. So you hit the nail on the head. These guys at the moment at the front, they really have nowhere else to go but to battle this. I don't believe they can go through green to the end. So, don't know how this is going to play out into the back end of it, but with these next-gen cars, they drive a lot differently to the Cup cars. So I could be wrong in my commentary and what I'm saying in regards to getting involved in the battle, but as we see, no one is really holding back at the moment. They're wanting to have that track position early. Well, I say early, but 91 laps into 125 for me now is still pretty early. You want to be up there in the top 6 to 8. You don't know what's going to happen, but I'd much rather be where Michael Shaw, Tom Pritchard, Sean Stamper out of the United States of America, who we heard from earlier, doing a great job in P3. I'd much rather be there at the moment than being back into 12th or 14th, but it is what it is. We'll see how we go. But look who's up into P5 there. As we have a big crash.
One thing for sure.
That is a huge one.
What happens? That's half the field.
And I didn't
would
even
like to say I'm speechless, but everyone just got deafened. I do apologise. I took over. What happened? Sorry, Aiden.
I didn't even go get a drink of water then, and we got a caution.
No, a big caution. This is going to be a big, big mess. We're just giving them what happened? We got our EP working overtime in PJ there, but your invoice there as well, mate. But wow, there's another under the bus moment, but I'm not calling this.
Oh, a lot of cars into the outside wall out of 2. Oh, cars got into the outside wall, into the 28 car, and that's just created a domino effect for everyone behind them. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 cars, maybe 9 cars.
How can you
The
have so many?
69 car doing a 3.5 somersault with a twist down the back straight. Damon May doing a great job to apply for the Summer Olympics in diving next 3 years.
It's amazing to be honest, because we're running 2-3 wide. I know the mid pack to mid to rear field was you know, a little bit. They were still, you know, experimental with their lines, but you know, I thought the top, you know, 10, 12 had their line all sorted, and it was like, I don't know if I could be wrong in calling this, but the way I seen it is I seen it was just like one person made an error, and it was just like half the field. We went running so well and so clean, and lap 94 out of 125. I know we like drama, but it was just like one accident or one mistake, brother, after the other. And yeah, well, look at this pit lane right now. It's going to be a sprint to the finish. I think they can get home from here.
They'll definitely get home from here, but looks like Michael Shaw's lost out on that pit stop. Matty Payton, he must still have a fast repair. I know, Dave, you're tuning in, mate. Yes, they do have a fast repair. I'm sure that Matty's used that now, so he'll be okay. I don't think he's got caught up in an incident yet to use it. I'm not quite sure. I know.
Yeah, his car looks pretty good there.
Yeah, his car looks good, so it looks like, mate, that he is good. So we'll see how he goes to the end. So I just wish you supported me in my racing like you do, Matty, mate. I've got a lot of self issues now, Dave. So you need to comment on that. But no, joking.
You need an eagle on your car so you can fly like Matty is tonight.
What was that, Paul?
You need an eagle on your car like Matty Patton's got, so you can fly like him tonight.
Yeah, that must be his winning trick at the moment. He's doing a great job tonight. Matty's always really quick, and he'll be the first to say he's struggled to convert his pace into a race win. So he's done a great job tonight, and hopefully we can see him on the podium. Him and his dad's Nigel Payton, actually. He's been doing really good in the ovals lately. So really excited to see these guys up the front. We've got the usual players at the front at the moment. My pick is up into P10 at the moment. Norman Clark out of New Zealand. Again, the one that was leading earlier is leading. Adam Malone, he's always going to be there in the Monster Energy car. He's there as well. Tommy Pritchard, who I'm fighting in other series as well, is up in P3. I need to have a chat to Tom, young Tom. I need to tell him to stop going so good because he makes my life a lot harder. So, Tom, if you're listening, go slower. But Michael Shaw up 14 spots on his 4th position. He's been doing well as well. And Ruben Phelps, my teammate, doing a great job there in P5 after being a lap down earlier. So we're 95 laps into 125. It's anyone's, gents.
And that's the beauty of NASCAR. It really is. And that's the thing I really do like about NASCAR, and I'm really learning to love it, is it's a game for it's a game. It's a race for the well, it's endurance. It's endurance, even if it is, you know, 100 laps. You know, roughly, you know, you do a minute, just 100 minutes. So it's not that long. It's not a, you know, a 9-hour Bathurst as the pace car goes off. And Aiden, I'll hand it over to you. I'll finish it off in a bit.
No worries, Pete. So, ladies and gentlemen, Norman Clark brings us to the green here, which hopefully is the final restart of round 3 of the Full Throttle NextGen Cup Series here from Michigan International. And Norman Clark leads us away. And Adam Malone on the outside there having a great start. Michael Shaw in behind him. Tom Pritchard in behind Norman Clark as well. So Norman Clark's got a good jump. Adam Malone on the outside. Michael Shaw's going to push really hard out the exit of 2 here to try and get a good run down the back straight into 3 and 4. Michael Shaw right in behind Adam Malone. Looks like Tom Pritchard's there as well. Norman Clark getting left. Looks like Michael Shaw's looking racy again. He really wants to get the lead of this race. He's pushing Adam Malone to the front now. Norman Clark has been swallowed at the front, nearly up into Andy Barber at the moment. We're 3-4 wide going onto the front stretch.
Oh,
So
we're
we-
almost 5 wide here, Peter.
Oh, mate, we nearly got my 5 widers. We'll get some some lap times up there for you, or some gap times. But we almost got 5 wide, as I said. But the high line we've mentioned, or I've probably reiterated on my broken record. It's definitely been in the latter half of the race. It's the part of the track to be. But Malone, Shaw, Barber, Agathis. I think my pick was.
And here we go.
Barber.
Agathos up the inside from 4th to 1st on 3 and 4. Agathos takes the lead of this race ahead of Adam Malone.
Number 66. Have a look at that. There's not much in it, and that's a good thing about NASCAR. You don't know who's going to win, but all you got to do is buy your ticket to the end, and that's exactly what these guys are doing. And Agathis, car number 66, you can see right now, is both cars. They're taking their own line. That's the position 1 and 2 of Agathis and Smith. Both different manufacturers as well. Ford leading the way, then Toyota. But these guys, look at it. They got their own line and it's working because they're going 3-4 wide behind them. These guys, they're following each other and now they're doing quite well. But I can't believe after 98, nearly, well, it is 99, it clicked over now. How disciplined these guys are being. But Agatha Smith, definitely favourites pattern. I think that's PJ's pick, so definitely not a favourite. But check this out. Have a look at these. Have a look at this view.
Not a favourite for you, because your pick of Andy Barber there back in 10th. So.
Hey,
Hey,
I'm in 12th.
Odds, mate. Long odds.
I'm in 12th, mate. We're just leading you all into a self-sense security. That's what we're doing.
See,
it's
I've got the
odds,
pick
mate.
of the night, and Dave Douglas there, he's backing me up as well. So we're both on the chair for Matty Patton there.
That's right. Dave's just commenting. He doesn't support me, so no, I'm joking. No,
Bribery, Dave.
really
You
good.
support bribery.
No, really good pick by Dave and Paul. Matt's doing a great job tonight, as much as we have a bit of fun. Matt's doing a great job. He's put his car in a good position to be able to have a good result tonight. But Agathos and Smith are showing a clean set of heels at the front. Jason Holdsworth in 4th there. The top 4 guys, or sorry, 1st, 3rd and 4th are actually up nearly 20 positions on their starting position. So it just goes to show, ladies and gentlemen, that you can start these oval races right at the back, which a lot of the drivers, and Dave, you would say this too, you do this a lot, and you can definitely win from the back. So there's no surprise to see these guys at the front at the moment, but we still have 24 laps to go here. As we have car going loose in the background, Norman Clark, by the looks of it, he's kept it off the inside wall, so that's going to keep the yellow from coming out. Great drive by Norman. So Agathos leads the way. Payton's now moved himself up into equal second there with Smith. He's trying to get the run on the inside, but he's going to get hung out to dry here on the inside. He's really going to have to move up onto the outside line and just settle in for the next 10 or 15 laps and get his car nice and cool, ready to make that move for the inside line with 5 to go, or even with 2 to go. But Michael Shaw doing a great job there too. He's that silent assassin just on the outside. We know Michael's not going to let it die wondering, because Michael's his biggest critic, as Paul, you would know. So he's going to want to have a nice solid result tonight. And currently, if P5 is where it is, I'm sure he'd be happy with that. But Demetrius Agathos there in P1 with Daniel Smith, P2, Jason Holdsworth, P3, Tom Pritchard in P4. Michael Shaw running out your top 5 in 5th. Michael Budge is 6th there, right behind Michael Shaw. Those top 6 cars at the moment are getting a little bit of a break amongst the rest of the field, but we need to have a little bit of a look back at the field at the moment. Ruben Phelps in P10, Tristan Koch in P12. Dave Oliver has just got that position over Tristan and moved up. Oh, it looks like Tristan's now got in front of him. It just, my live timing is going crazy, but the guys in that second pack at the moment are about half a second behind that front pack. But unless something crazy happens at the front here with about 21 to go, these guys have got a long way back to try and catch up to that front group.
It's funny, and one big thing I've learnt in NASCAR is if you have a spin, you can have a spin, roll your car, go tow, and then come back out. Everyone else does everything worse than that, and you win the race. You know, you don't. It's the checkered flag is where the race is won, and NASCAR there's no truer statement, especially in NASCAR, proves the point, because it doesn't matter where you're at race lap 50 of 100. It's where you are at 99.75 out of 100. And as you can see, these guys, they're still persisting with the 2 lines. And that's what your top 10, persisting with 2 lines. And they're doing a good job. But, you know, anything can happen with 20 to go.
Yeah, I'm just watching that gap between the top 9 and that second group. And it's going back a little bit at the moment. It's dropping down about a tenth or two a lap. So these guys at the front are doing a great job trying to bridge that gap between that second group. So if we were to go green to the end, it looks like those top 9 drivers up to Matt Payton at the moment are pretty much, from what I'm looking at, going to be the ones that are going to be a factor in this race. But in saying that, there's a lot to go. There could be another caution, but these guys are doing a great job at the front. Demetrius Agathos doing a great job at the front as well. He's led probably 5 or 6 laps in a row now. He is covering off pretty hard there on Daniel Smith, so he knows he's got now 19 laps to go. So he's going to want to stay in front as we see a car nearly get into the outside wall through 3 and 4.
I swear we got touched 5 wide there. Sorry,
you just really want that 5 wide, as we saw Jason Holdsworth get up into the wall, so that's going to hurt him a lot, but definitely help Demetrius Agathos and Daniel Smith there at the front. Michael Shaw still sitting back there. Andy Barber, our Coca-Cola assassin, I'll call him. We used to call him the Flyer. Now we call him the Storm Chaser. Now I've called him the Coca-Cola assassin. I'll just call him every name I can, but Andy Barber doing a great job there up into P5. Tommy Pritchard back there in P7, just biding his time. But these 2 guys at the front now are getting that gap on Michael Budge. So Demetrius Agathos and Daniel Smith working well together, lap 107, 125 as they come up on lake traffic.
That's going to be the thing too, because you don't want to get caught up in battling with someone with, you know, that's nowhere near in contention. But these guys aren't going to get caught up in this. We've had bugger all cautions, you know, and when we've had cautions, they've been worth it. You know what I mean? They've been big crashes. Look at this. No,
here's
what's
another
this?
caution. That's not going to take out the leaders.
It is.
Oh,
no!
no.
Oh no!
Who was that? That was the 28 car.
Talk to me, good footing up.
Oh, you can decipher that, because that was, I'm not too
That
sure.
was Matt Payton got involved in that.
We jumped on board with them when it was, I think it was before this.
Oh, Matt Payton got in the wall.
I think.
Sorry, he shows to me as a different number. Oh, he is 28, yeah. So Matt Payton got really hard into 3 and 4 and got right up into the wall and come down on the rest of the field. So unfortunate there for Matt, Paul, you'd be disappointed in that.
Yeah, I might just need to go back a little bit, because he had a blown motor there, so I'm not too sure what happened there. It sounds like he's hit the wall there somewhere coming out of 1 and 2 earlier.
Yeah, I was just about to ask you the same thing too, PJ. That car 28, he was in a bit of mischief. Probably about half a lap before that, he was really struggling.
There
I think
it is.
he just caught a bit of the grass there, then he kisses the wall. There's the broken engine. Well called, PJ, and it's just ricochet from about half that lap. But he grabbed that bit of grass, and that's what started it. But
Dave Douglas has just commented on the stream too, guys. He goes, Matty just got stitched up, must have blew a tyre. So there we go. Not sure what happened with Matty there. He definitely did have an issue, but went up into the wall hard.
I think Peter put a bus on the racetrack, and Matty just locked up trying to avoid it.
Yeah, just pulled the handbrake on and say, I'm stopping for a drink. I need a drink. So, and just made him zigzag around it. But you know what? We're back under iRacing safety cars. You watch the lucky dog drive around and get his lap back. But 110 out of 125, Aiden. You know what? This is the Intersim network. You guys do an absolute stellar job, and you've picked up a couple of new, broadcast partners. So, Aiden, what's your Intersim network schedule for the next week?
Yeah, mate. Glad you asked. But yeah, Intersim Esports Network. It's Paul and I's baby. We love bringing all the broadcasts we do. So we did have our own Intersim Esports Network switch-up series that we did when we started broadcasting. Now with our broadcast, we do broadcast the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen series here on the Intersim Esports Network on a Friday night from 7:45 p.m. You'll see us again on Sunday night for the Australasian Supercar E-Series here on the Intersim Esports Network from the same time at 7:45 p.m. So we enjoy bringing that to everyone on a Friday and a Saturday night. As you know, Paul and I do a lot of racing outside of that as well, and there's a lot that goes into broadcasting. So it is our pleasure to bring this to everyone on the Intersim Esports Network. If you are tuning in tonight across all our platforms, whether it be Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube, feel free to go on and follow our page, Into2Sim, IN2SIM Esports Network. On Facebook, share it to your friends. We're there on Twitch as well, also under Intersim Esports Network, and on YouTube. So you can follow these live. You can follow them later, save them for your family and friends. All the races that are racing tonight, I'm sure. I can see all the viewers there tonight that are watching. So if you do have family, friends that are within this race or whatever, keep getting on and sharing our posts, sharing our broadcast, because I'm sure that all these drivers love having you guys on watching, and they love watching it back and creating a few memories for them and their family. Yes, this is sim racing, but these guys do take it serious to an extent, and it is all a bit of fun on a Friday night, but at the same time, everyone does want to win. So mate, thank you for the shout out there to bring us across. But ladies and gentlemen, jump on and have a look at all that if you want to. And it looks like Matt just commented on the post, guys. His virtual reality died. So it wasn't a blown tyre or a blown motor. His VR headset just completely stuffed up. So that was the end of his night.
Well, that's sim racing, but we still love it. And you know what that does? As we want the cars as close as they are right to the end of the race, and the behavior has been awesome. Aiden, you called the restarts really well. That bus has just run you over, but you're good at it.
And here we go. We're green again. Demetrius Agathos brings us to the green, and we're green again for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series here at Michigan International Speedway on the Intersim Esports Network. Demetrius Agathos with a great jump over Daniel Smith. Michael Budge up into third. Brian Bullock third. Michael Shaw rounding out your top 5 as the cars get up to speed out of 1 or 2 down the back stretch. Michael Shaw in 5th. He's been hounded by Tom Pritchard on the outside. Daniel Beckinsale working with him as well. So it looks like we had a wall smack in the background, but Michael Shaw's trying to drop in, but Michael Shaw hasn't raced this race like he wants to drop in, so it looks like he's going to want to move forward again as he takes the inside line as we're about to go nearly 3 wide out of 3 and 4, but we don't. We stay 2 wide. Michael Shaw up the inside. Demetrius Agathos, Daniel Smith, Michael Budge, clean set of heels on the outside there. For 1, 2, and 3, Michael Shaw on the inside, right there behind, I believe, Daniel Beckinsale or the likes. So that inside line trying to get a run, but I'm not sure that's going to work long term as you see them getting hung out to dry at the moment. So they're going to want to move up into that outside line and try and get a run as we're 113 laps into 125. You can see a car in the background there. I believe that might have been Sean Stamper trying to make that move up around the outside to follow those cars. So Demetrius Agathos, as we've seen in the last couple of laps, been leading with a clean set of heels. Daniel Smith, Michael Budge, they're the same people at the front. Look who's in P4, ladies and gentlemen. Ruben Phelps out of Dunedin in New Zealand, now moved up into P3. Someone that we rode off a lap down is now into P3 with only 11 laps to go, ladies and gentlemen. The 06 of Ruben Phelps moving forward really quickly. Demetrius Agathos, Daniel Smith, Ruben Phelps, Michael Budge, Brian Bullock, Andy J. Barber in the Coca-Cola car. How is he still there, ladies and gentlemen? He's had more incidents than I have down the local supermarket with shopping trolleys, but he's still there.
And that's a lot.
He's still there in P7. What is going on here? So Ruben Phelps up into P2 on the outside and stop making me laugh at my own jokes because I'm trying to commentate.
I'd hate to
Have
see
a look
all
at
those
that. Have a look. Look at this. We've almost got 3-4 wide behind these leaders. You don't even know, right, ladies and gentlemen, watching it, and thank you all for supporting the InterSim Network and Aiden and PJ. As you can tell, we have parallel laughs. We just stitch each other up every time. But have a look at this mid pack. You got 3, 4, yet to see 5 without an incident. Are we going to see it? 115 laps at 125, 10 to go. You know what? Have we been racing for an hour and 34? I have no idea. Hasn't felt like it. The guys are doing really well, but the elbows are going to come out. We're in the last 10, Aiden. What's going to happen? Are these guys disciplined enough to get this this baby on home, or are we going to see some really close racing?
I don't know whether to answer question A or B. Question A, yeah, they are. And we are going to see some really good racing. Don't be surprised if we do see another yellow, and I don't want to put a commentator's curse on because these guys have done a great job all night. Hopefully this goes green to the end. So, yeah, hopefully it does, but we will see how that plays out as we are now just going into lap 117 of 125. Demetrius Agathos just showing a clean set of heels there at the front. He must feel one with his car because he's wanting to lead at the front, and I'm sure he's not going to want to let that lead go at all in these next 8 laps or 7.5 laps as we go into 3 and 4. But Daniel Smith is keeping him really honest. Michael Budge there as well, who's been there the whole race. Reuben Phelps, my teammate there in 4th, he's sitting there waiting to pounce, and old mate's had more incidents than shopping trolleys at shopping centres. Andy Barber there in 5th, doing a great job having that Coca-Cola car there up into 6th rather. Up into 5th. Tristan Koch, my actual pick, is up into 6th as well, guys. So just saying I'm still there. Brian Bullock 7th, who was actually in an incident earlier and saved it off the wall. So this goes to show that you can be on these oval tracks and you can come back up and be in a position to win it, as we see a big move there on the inside through 3 and 4 by Reuben Phelps. Up the inside there of Daniel Smith. Pushes Daniel wide. Daniel gives him a lot of room. Looks like Demetrius Agathos is there. Is he going to try and cover off on Reuben? This is where the move's going to be made, I believe. Or is Reuben happy to sit there? It looks like Daniel Smith's trying to make the move on the outside of Reuben. Reuben's sitting there in 2nd. He's trying to set himself up, but he's got to watch from behind as well he does from in front. So Reuben's in a good spot at the moment, guys, but Demetrius is in an even better spot in P1. He can cover off all those challenges.
Plenty of challenges in NASCAR, and I've learned as well. It's when you race in iRacing, it is so easy to hit that escape key and just get out of the servo, especially doing iRacing when you're surrounded by Muppets. But with NASCAR, if you start to get on that on circuits, get on the NASCAR, because you know what? You can be 24th out of 24. 5 laps to go, 1 lap down, and you know what? Win it. You can. I've seen it happen. It's hard to do, but you can still make a good position out of a shit start, to be honest, and bad luck. And you can do it just by hanging in there, and this is what these guys are doing. And Agathos, mate, you've seen that name at the top of the screen now for the last 15, 20 minutes. And I don't want to cause him any grief. It's only 4 to go, but he could lose it. But it's they're clicking over. The elbows are getting wider. The cars are getting wider, and they're getting a little bit more antsy. Aiden or PJ. Oh, these guys. This is where the race starts now with 4 to go. These guys are getting antsy. They want to win.
Yeah, definitely. The race has started now. I can see what Reuben's doing. He's trying to push Demetrius to the front and try and get that gap on Daniel Smith so he can worry about that race win at the end. But Daniel's slowly building up on the back now. You can see that 3rd, 4th and 5th position slowly pulling up. I'm actually cheering for Reuben as well as I'm cheering for Tristan as my pick. But Reuben being my teammate, I'm cheering for him. So what Reuben's trying to do at the moment, and I'll know exactly what he's doing, from running a lot of laps with him. He's sitting in there behind and trying to push him to try and keep that gap between 3rd, 4th and 5th for that final lap. It looks like at the moment it's not really going to happen because they're working well behind them. So we are about to go 3-4 wide as we go into the final 3 laps of this race, as we see Daniel Smith just trying to take a little bit to Ruben on the inside. Ruben's giving him lots of room. He's going to get better drive on the outside, but Daniel does have that draft of Demetrius, who's just sat a little bit lower, so that's hung Ruben out to dry a little bit there. So Ruben's going to go back to 4th, so he's going to have to reevaluate that with 3 laps to go. He's going to drop in behind those first 3 at the moment, as we see Tristan Koch there, another one of my picks sitting there in P5, and we now have an 8-car freight train as we go across the line through 3 and 4 this time around. We'll have 2 laps to go.
They're really getting under the rear bumper of what I've noticed in the last couple of laps. That was awesome called, Aiden. I was, wow, I was excited. I'm sitting here with the headset on with the mic as well. But have a look at this top 4 and 5. They're getting under it. You know
Here
what
we go.
they're getting
Here we
there?
go. Here we
This
go.
is it, the last charge.
Here we go. 2 to go. Ruben Phelps taking the inside line. He's going to wash up mid-corner. He's going to sit in behind Daniel Smith there. Demetrius Agathos is in a very vulnerable position right now. Those top 3 cars have got the jump. We're down the back straight with only 1.5 laps to go. Is Daniel Smith going to want to make that move?
Oh, what? Green-white checker.
Oh, no, we've gone
checker.
caution. They're not going to want this. Where's that caution come from? That was going to be a great finish.
You were gearing up to, Aiden, but that would probably bring out a green-white checker, I'd imagine.
It definitely has.
And yeah, that's definitely not what these guys at the front here wanted to happen right now. But yeah, we'll duck back. We'll have a look at what caused that.
While you do that, I'll bring Demetrius up into the booth and we'll have a chat.
Leader checking up now.
There you go. There's a bit of commentary there too for this replay.
Yeah, a bit of commentary. Demetrius, we're just looking through the replay at the moment. We're sorry to bring you up unannounced, mate. We'll move you back into your team channel. But P1 before that caution come out with under 2 to go. I'm sure you weren't wanting that.
Yeah, you know, trying to get it all the way green, but it is what it is. I think now we just got to focus on getting the restart and hopefully getting a gap on the rest of them to lead it to the finish line.
Mate, you probably led the last 20 laps. You seem pretty comfortable at the front. We do know how big a draft is in these cars. Do you think if you get the jump early, you might be a sitting duck? Do you think you're going to want to check up the field? Like, have you got a strategy moving into this green-white checker?
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, yeah, the draft is massive. So at the moment, I'm just going to play it by ear and we'll see how we go.
No worries, mate. Well, thanks for making yourself available. Real quickly, Pete, before we let Demetrius go, anything you want to say to him before we let him go? Even you, Paul?
Yeah, mate. You've had an awesome race. So yeah, don't just push on. Keep doing what you're doing. Don't change.
No worries. Thanks.
No worries, Demetrius. We'll let you go back up into your race channel and hopefully we're talking to you on the podium at the end, mate.
Alrighty, no worries. Thanks, guys.
And we just got a little bit of feedback here. So apparently Aiden drives a shopping trolley and a car like a grandma in real life.
Oh,
well,
really?
He keeps his driver's license though intact, but his racing license, well, that's where it all happens, Aiden. But you can drive a shopping trolley in your car like a granny. That's the safe way, isn't it?
Mate, I have my pink tassels on the handlebars and got my warning beacon on my handlebars as well, so people know when I'm coming.
Oh,
And I even got a reverse beacon, so when I'm going backwards, they know I'm going backwards.
I like to make car noises while I'm pushing my shopping trolley around and drifting around the aisles out of the corners and stuff.
No, mate, that's where you're going wrong. You don't need to make the noises. We grew up in the 80s, 90s, mate. You just put a card in between your spokes, and there you go. You're good to go. But anyway, we're back to reality. Where have we gone?
You're lucky
I
you
can
stopped
see
me.
Prue commenting. That's where you've got that from. Righto.
No, not at all.
Yeah, keeping it
Oh,
real.
that's Aiden's better half.
this is where I don't comment because they're watching.
And listening, lap 127 or 128, green, white checker, under safety car. No one knew, Aiden. No one knew. We had no idea this was happening. Aiden was just, you would just get your steam up to a massive finish, and then bang, we get smashed with the yellow. But that was pretty good, Aiden, that lead up. But, you know, you got to finish off and bring them home strong. But it's going to be hard because their car's going to be as wide as this track, and have a look how wide it is. That's wide.
No, that's all right, Pete and Paul. I'll bring them home hard, as we'll bring them home together as we're going down the back straight here of the third round of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. From Michigan International Speedway, leading us off from the pole will be Demetrius Agathos in the 66 car on the outside row. Outside of the front row will be Daniel Smith, followed by Ruben Phelps and Andy Barber, Dean Gorford, Daniel Beckinsale, Tristan Koch, Brian Bullock, Tom Pritchard and Michael Shaw rounding out the top 10 as we're coming down the main straight, ready to go green.
Have a look at them too. Side by side, all disciplined. And I'm not leaving it to the last minute to give it to you, Aiden.
And here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you there, Pete. We are about to go green for the final time for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here on the InterSim Esports Network. Demetrius Agathos takes us to the green, and we are green for the final time of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series. And it is green-white checker. Demetrius Agathos with a great start there. Daniel Smith up into P2. Ruben Phelps has dropped down there into P3. We have Andy Barber, the Coca-Cola assassin, in P4. Ruben Phelps making a big move on the outside there of Daniel Smith. Is he going to be able to make that work down the back straight? And he does, and he covers off on Daniel Smith. Andy Barber with a great run on the outside with Dean Gorfoyle trying to push him on the outside too.
Go
Phelpsy. Go Phelpsy. Phelpsy is on the inside. He is following Demetrius Agathos at the moment. That outside run of Andy Barber, he's covered that off Ruben. Andy's trying to make a move down the outside. Ruben's now a sitting duck. Andy's in a great position to win this one at the moment as we go into the final lap. Ruben Phelps is hung out to dry at the moment. Andy Barber right in there behind Demetrius Agathos. He's sitting mid-pack trying to get a real mid-track trying to get a really good run off 3 and 4 here. Can he do it? Doesn't look like it. Demetrius Agathos showing a clean set of heels at the front, covering off. Look at that outside line move. Ruben Phelps following Andy Barber. Oh, there's an accident. Ruben Phelps has kept into it, and Ruben's in the fence. Our winner's going to be Demetrius Agathos. Demetrius Agathos has won the race.
125 laps to finish like that. Ruben Phelps,
Demetrius Agathos is the winner of round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series here from Michigan International Speedway on the InterSim Esports Network. And what a finish we just had. Jason Holdsworth up there in P2, 22 starting positions up, or 22 positions up on his starting position after that incident. Tommy Pritchard, who just keeps getting these podiums up into P3. Guys, I knew there would have been drama at the end, but I wasn't expecting that.
Well, we're definitely committed. I'll tell you, the emotion to come out of us is like we were there. But hey, we've got the easy street. Have a look at this as PJ gets a replay. Oh, look how close it is.
Yeah, it looks like Andy Barber's just got up into the outside there. Little bit of a situational awareness. Ruben Phelps nowhere to go on the inside there. Tries to get under it. Nowhere to go, unfortunately. That's just going to send the car up the track.
Oh, look at this. It all unfolded. Oh, it just all went to beep, 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 beep.
It looked like Michael Shaw was going to get through there too, and Phelps, he's just come up, and Shaw, he's done a 3.5 somersault with a pike.
It took 120 laps to do that too. That's a strange thing. The elbows are out, definitely, weren't they? But wow.
He's not going to be happy with that one, Shorey.
Oh, he joined the queue. There's probably about 20 of them that weren't. That was a massive accident to finish this race, Aiden. But hey, you know what? Leading up to it was worth it. That's the way you want to end your Friday night.
Oh, most definitely. What great racing did they bring us tonight here on the Full Throttle NextGen Cup Series from Michigan? It was a little bit stop and start, but it just goes to show these cars around these tracks, 1.5 mile ovals or bigger, actually create some really great racing. So. And a lot of those drivers, as we go through the race results now, we had the winner of round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, Demetrius Agathos, which is actually his second win in the Full Throttle Series, I believe, after winning a truck round a couple of weeks back. So well done, Demetrius. Jason Holdsworth in in P2 rather. Tommy Pritchard, who's becoming all too experienced to getting these podium finishes at the moment, up there in P3, Dave Oliver P4, Dean Guilfoyle in P5, Daniel Smith is finished in P6, Garth Duffy P7, Michael Budge in P8 rather, Daniel Beckinsale P9, Damon May rounding out your top 10 there, Peter.
Yeah, how good was the race as we go through? And Sean Stamper was 11, Kosh 12, Shaw, Clark. Reuben Phelps back in 15. I thought he would get a little bit higher up than that. I think he climbed as high as probably third or fourth in the latter stages of the race. But well, we had no idea. It just threw a whole thing up in the air with those race results. With that last ditch effort by everyone, it turned into an incident. But behind Phelps in 16th position was Bullock, Barber, and Shannon Blackburn for Aussie Boys Racing. Shout out to you, mate. I'll see you on Sunday, definitely, mate. But yeah, back to you, Aiden.
Yeah, thanks for that, mate. What a great call tonight, gents. Before we go on and have a chat to the podium place getters, I do have them up in the booth ready to go. But before we do that, first of all, I just need to thank everyone from the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Cup Series to allow us from the IndySim Esports Network to be able to bring these pictures to you, the viewers, everyone watching. So anyone that is wanting to see some broadcasting, have broadcasting, jump on and follow the IndySim Esports Network on our social platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter. Not Twitter, sorry. Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Also, Peter will give you a little bit of shout out. Peter Gretton does a lot of broadcasting himself on LR Esports, so jump across and give him a like as well. We're all an iRacing community. Thank you so much, Peter, for jumping on tonight and giving us a hand. It's always a pleasure to have you on board, so we do appreciate that. But before we move across to the place getters, Paul, I'm not sure whether we've got it ready, the unofficial series results after round 3.
Ooh, you might have to give me a moment there.
We've caught Paul a bit short there, Aiden. But no, it's my pleasure to come join you. And when you were trying to ring me today, I was sort of hoping that you were going to ask me to broadcast and commentate with you, because it's been a long time between drinks. But the best thing that I've learnt with NASCAR is, you know what, you're there till the end. You can't buy a ticket at NASCAR at the gate and your driver just have a crash out and you throw your ticket and go in the bin. Nah, you can't, because if you do that, they're going to win the race. And we've seen that today. There was battles up and down this field here at Michigan. But, well, hey, how good was it? How good was it? 125 laps. You blinked, mate. You missed it.
Yeah, and that's what all our broadcasts have been lately. You blink and you miss it, but I believe we might have the unofficial championship points ready to go. So, Peter, as we have now finished round 3 and how this has changed. So, currently unofficially on top, we have Daniel Beckinsale leading the championship on 102 points after round 3. Dean Guilfoyle, I can never pronounce that, so I do apologise, Dean. Please correct me when you get to speak to me. 98 points in second place. Jason Holdsworth, who we'll chat to shortly after coming second in this race, has moved to top 3 in the championship on 96 points. Andy Barber has moved from leading the championship down into 4th on 94 points. Dave Oliver 5th on 85, Norman Clark 84, Tristan Klotch 82, Demetrius Agathos with a win tonight's moved up into 8th on 72 points. And ladies and gentlemen, these are official results, so penalties and bonus points are still to be applied, but this will give you an idea. Michael Budge is 9th, and Michael Shaw, who was looking at a nice top 5 result tonight, who unfortunately got involved in that incident with Ruben and half the field there, rounding out the top 10. Peter, as you take him through the rest of the field.
Yeah, I'll tell you, just before I take them to the rest of the field, that top 10 is close. Like, you only round 3 rather, in the Full Throttle Friday night event, and this one was close. I mean, very, there's a few colourful words in there, but it was close. But, yeah, definitely. So I think you ended up on Michael Shaw, and he's 66 points, but you got Daniel Smith on 63, you got Weston on 62, and you got Jacobs 61, tied with Stamper. Malone on 56, Williams 51, Bullock on 43, tied with May. So look at it, even the championship's tight, just as tight as this race, and we didn't know until the last 5 laps. Oh, well, no, I lie. We didn't know until the last 2 laps, Aiden, I think we'd all agree who was going to win that race, but that was an awesome event. That was really great.
Yeah, it was, and we have a little bit of fun up here in the commentary booth on having our little stoush between each other and who we think is going to win, and none of that's personal. It's just a bit of fun to create a bit of content here on the stream. But I do agree with you there, Peter. It was an amazing race tonight and brought everything that we thought that round 3 of the Full Throttle NextGen Cup Series from Michigan would bring, and really excited to bring that to the viewers here on a Friday night. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to bring up the top 3 into the broadcast booth at the moment, and we're going to have to start with P3, as we always do. Tom Pritchard, mate, P3. I pushed you to the win at Daytona the other week, so I'll take that 3rd place as mine tonight.
Mate, did you see that last couple of laps there? Man, I went from 12th to 3rd on the last 2 corners. It was, yeah, that was wild. But yeah, it was crashing and bashing all around me. It was pretty wild.
Yeah, it was wild, but you know, as well as anyone, you got to have your car there in a position to be able to take advantage of those things, and that's exactly what you did tonight. You were up there in the top, say, 5 or 6 for most of the race, very quick, but you kept your car out of trouble and come away with a P3, which was good for your championship.
Yeah, I got to say, I mean, I missed the first early race of the season, which was a challenge because that's put me behind in the championship. But hopefully, we can make some of that back up with a few more good finishes. But yeah, really a strong race tonight. It was field was good and strong, and yeah, it was really really exciting. So hope it was good to watch.
Did you find there was tyre deg tonight? Did you find that these cars had any tyre deg around this track?
They did. Towards the end of the fuel load, there was definitely some wear. Nothing like what the Gen 6 cars have around here, but in terms of tyre deg, you could. It certainly wasn't having to lift too much, but it had to be a bit delicate at the end of fuel load.
Yeah, that's good insight, mate. But great job on P3. But Paul, I think you want to have a chat with Tom about before we give him a shout out to all his sponsors, etc.
I'm having a bit of a blank tonight because I haven't been on the comms too much tonight. But yeah, what was going through your mind? Obviously, as you saw all of the action unfold in front of you. You said you're back in 12th, I think, and
Yeah.
what was going through your head there?
Well, I was kind of speaking with Shorey, with the last kind of pace car, and he said we got to do something special here to get these things back up the front because we were a bit down, and I didn't think we were going to really. When we were about a lap to go, it looked pretty bleak, and I thought I'm just not lifting. We're just going to keep it stuck to the floor, and then when I saw them starting to crash, I thought I'll just hug the inside and just try and stay as low as I can. And better luck than management, to be honest. That the World Open, that's the go with these kind of races. These it's not a super speedway, but it's close enough to that. Hey, the world opens up and you can get away with murder, so to speak.
Hey Tom, it's Speed here, mate. Just before we throw out, sorry to you butt in there, PJ. but you know, I just had to get in there quick. But hey, mate, I love helping Aiden and PJ out. They do an absolute stellar job at the InterSim network. But to watch you guys around the oval, and I'm not really, to be honest, the oval advocate, but what's it like? Because my theory of ovals is unless you cross the checkered line, you're not winner. Like how is it? Like you've seen a last lap bit of carnage with a lot of the cars.
Yeah.
How do you plan? How do you plan for a race like this? This is 125 laps. How do you plan for it when you know, or you know in your head at least, that you know one lap from the finish you're gonna end up in carnage? How do you plan
Well,
for that, or do you try and just keep that shit out of your mind? Sorry to
well,
swear again.
no, you don't. You don't really. You know, you're obviously not planning to wreck. But I got to say the approach I take is we were going into that last lap and we were going to get as close as we could to winning, or you know, as much as it would be a likelihood winning it. So, you know, for us it was all or nothing. You get to the end of, you know, we've been racing nearly 2 hours, and at that point it doesn't matter. You're going for the win. You're going as hard as you. You just don't worry about the consequences of you know a crash. That's I suppose the beauty of sim racing. We can always hit the reset button afterwards and
A
get
lot of
away with
people
it.
got to realize that too, hey, don't they? I swear we've
Yeah,
all come into contact with people like that.
and at the end of the day, put on a good show. I mean, I'm sure that last lap would have been spectacular to see, and
Oh,
I look forward to seeing the telecast of it later tonight.
hopefully we done well, and I'm only a guest, so I may be taking over a little bit, Aiden and PJ, but definitely it was good to see you guys race, and I'll hand it back over to Aiden and PJ now, but thanks, guys, for letting me join in again. It was a long time between drinks, and you know what? I enjoyed every moment of it, and you're making me fall in love with NASCAR every time that I call for you guys.
Awesome.
No worries there, Pete. But Tom, mate, great job. You're becoming an expert at getting these podium positions lately. And again, I'll say I will take your win from Daytona, but not about me tonight. P3, mate, great job. Another podium finish. Before we let you go, mate, and spend some time with family and friends, anyone you want to have a shout out for your P3 position tonight?
Yeah, look, I definitely I owe some thanks to the teammates that I'm driving with. I'm gonna go through all of them, but Jory is certainly with me for a lot of that race. Adam Malone was there. Barber was there. We were all kind of working a little bit together, and that's what we need to do around you know, this kind of race. At the bin chicane guys, there's a lot of guys working together there. So there's a few teams that it's important to keep on top of it and work with a bit of a teammate to get to the front. So definitely for them, thank you. And yeah, and just really thanks to you guys for front of the broadcast. It sounds great. It's certainly adding to the spice of the experience.
No worries, Tom. We really appreciate that, mate, and it's our pleasure to be able to bring this to you and everyone else around our platforms, whether it be Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Tom Pritchard, P3 here for round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series on the InSim Esports Network. But we'll let Tom go and try and debrief with his fellow teammates and family before he goes and watch the broadcast back. But now we'll move on to our second place getter, Jason Holdsworth, 22 spots up on his 24th starting position to come out P2. Jason Holdsworth, how good is that?
Yeah, I'm pretty happy with that, to be honest. I think I was behind Tom going into that final corner in 14th or something like that. So the last corner, I've come out quite well as well. So
14th to second on the last corner.
I believe so. It's around about that. I'm not 100% sure, but I believe it was either 13th or 14th. I was definitely behind Shory and Tom.
Well, like we said to Tom, you need to put your car in a position to be able to get that position if something did happen. So great job there on a P2, mate.
Thank you.
Guys, you want to have a chat with Jason?
Yeah, well, Jason Monday night you were here in the Cup cars as well in Full Throttle. Monday, Tuesday actually, I think
Tuesday, yeah.
Yeah, so you had a P2 in that one as well. So pretty consistent on the podiums here, and yeah, doing a pretty good job.
Yeah, the track suits me. I only bought it this week, obviously for Cup and NIS, and obviously for the Full Throttle Tuesday and tonight. And yeah, it seems to have liked me. I've actually done quite well through races throughout the week, and obviously, yeah, the second on Tuesday, second today. I cannot really complain about this track.
I actually think I raced you on an official this week, Jason, at this track, I believe.
Which one? That wasn't in B, was it?
No, it was in A.
Yeah, if it's A, I did okay. B, I had a shocker.
No, I think it was an A. I think it might actually be in the open setup at Pocono. Not quite sure, but I've seen your name somewhere. But no surprise to see you there in P2 at the moment, mate. It's a great job.
Thank you.
If you did okay in A, then you're going A okay there.
Hey, I
like the pun there, Paul. I like the pun there, mate.
Paul just stole my line because I read that in my head. I read that in my head. It's A-OK, but definitely, mate, that was A-OK. Your performance tonight was awesome, but it's these guys shows, and they do an awesome job in the Intersim network and the leagues they're associated with. So thank you to Aiden and PJ for having me on board and all the drivers. It was, mate, I had more fun than what you think, I reckon. But it was awesome. Invite me back whenever, hey, to be honest, but I'll let you finish off the show. But that was absolutely stellar. Thanks, everyone.
And there we go, Pete and Paul. Paul, we've just created another arm for our esports network. We're now going into poetry. So we've done that now. You've created a bit of poetry with your whatever you call that there. Let's just roll with that. And that's probably as far as our poetry career's gone. It started and finished right there. So, but anyway, while I stop talking rubbish, Jason, mate, P2 tonight, big shout out to everyone that supports you, everyone around your iRacing career, everything you do through iRacing. Shout out to everyone, mate.
Yeah, probably have to thank Dean. Sorry. I'll have to thank Dean, obviously my teammate. I'm actually still fairly new to oval racing, and he's actually obviously taught me quite a fair bit in a short amount of time. Obviously, thanks to Steve and Shory for putting on these events. It's coming on. It's very well run. I'm absolutely loving it as well. And obviously, thank you for you guys for your broadcast as well.
No worries, mate. Our pleasure, and congratulations again from everyone here at the Intersim Esports Network and everyone from the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen series. Congratulations on your P2, and hopefully we're talking to you next week.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
No worries. There we go, guys. Jason Holdsworth, P2 here at round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen series on the Intersim Esports Network. But he's been sitting there waiting for 10 minutes, and it's come his time. We've spoken to him through the broadcast. He's been a winner previously in the trucks on the Full Throttle series, and now he's a winner in the NextGen Cup series for the Full Throttle Friday Night series. Demetrius Agathos, mate, P1, you've got to be happy with that one.
Yeah, I'm extremely happy, especially starting position 19. Qualifying didn't really go to plan. I brushed the wall on the opening lap, and it just wiped off my speed. But I knew I just had to just work my way back to the front. Again, we had the pace through practice. And, yeah, just chipped at it, pitted under every safety car, took the fuel. And yeah, we just chipped at it, got to the front. And once we got to the front, you could just stay at the front, which was very handy.
Yeah, I was watching at the end there. Did you think Ruben had something? We were talking about Ruben, and I did make a little bit of an insight because he is my teammate in other things. But he seemed like he was quick at the end, but he just got caught out of position. I was a little bit worried for you being a sitting duck there at the start, and you did take the jump early, which really did help you. But I thought they were going to drag up on the back of you, but you did really well on making your car sort of not in one particular lane. It's like you were taking both the drafts off them. Is that what you were trying to do?
I was trying to link up with my bin chicane teammates. I had Daniel Smith on the side on the restart with me on the front row. So we were just trying to link up. And once I got the jump on that last restart, and he slotted in behind before we were going to get that 1-2. But then Ruben came up. He had the speed. He's had the speed all race today. He was pretty quick, and he just drove around Dan and slotted in between us. And then we were trying to work our way back to having the front running duo, sort of as like a shotgun protection. But he was just too quick, and he got to the back of me, and then I thought he was going to make a move, but he just sat there for the last couple laps.
Yeah, it looked like he got caught up in something, but you definitely put your car in the position to win that, and clean set of heels there from green-white checker, mate. No one was headed. So you bought the 66 car Mustang, I believe, up to the front there, mate. So great job there to be able to get the win, and I'm sure you're happy with that because you did get the win in, I think, the inaugural Full Throttle Truck Series for this season. You got the win at round one, and I've raced against you and all us other guys have in a couple other things recently, and you've had a bit of bad luck. So good to see you at the pointy end again for this one.
Yeah, thanks. Yeah, I think we were actually discussing a couple of stuff back at round one, how I used my fast repair in the first crash that I got, and it cost me in that second crash. But it is what it is. I mean, we're all racing pretty hard, and it's great racing this close together. And it's we just made it go our way today, and hopefully this continues now on to the next round.
Yeah, hopefully, mate. And as I've said to everyone else from us at the IndySim Esports Network and everyone at the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen Series, we do congratulate you on your win tonight, and hopefully it's a start of many to come, mate.
Yeah, thank you, guys. Thanks for putting on the broadcast, and also thanks to Shory and Hoppet for setting it all up. It's been great running. I run in the trucks on the Thursday and the Next Gen's on Friday. So yeah, it's been great fun, and it really helped me. I mean, I haven't really done oval racing on iRacing. As I'm you can probably see, I'm a C class, and I haven't done much. But with the top of the team, they've been. I've had a couple of pretty experienced oval racers in the team, so we've been able to kind of bounce thoughts and stuff off each other, and I think it's worked really well.
And you did mention a couple of your thanks just before, but is there any sponsors or anyone else apart from that you want to thank before we let you go?
We've got the Blendline TV blokes. They cover the grassroots motorsport, which most of us haven't been able to get to with this lockdown.
Excels. Oh,
and
shit.
Excels, Pulsars, and all that stuff. So yeah, them and just all the bin chicane boys.
No worries, mate. Well, we do thank you once again, and congratulations on your P1. Go and have a beverage or two on a Friday night and enjoy the win.
Thank you, guys, and see you next week.
Look forward to it, mate. Hopefully we talk to you then. But Paul and Peter, mate, that wraps up round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night and Series here on the IndySim Esports Network, and it didn't disappoint.
Definitely didn't. And as the mentioned, next week we're heading to Pocono Raceway, so it's going to be very interesting to see how these next gen cars go at Pocono, as I'm sure there'll be a little bit more brake involved than the first 3 rounds that we've had.
Yeah, there will be. I've done a lot of laps in the next gen in the official open sets in the next gen at Pocono last week, so they are a good car to drive around Pocono. It's going to be a very different style of racing, especially with that 3-corner track as opposed to 4 with a triangle type layout. So, and there is definitely tyre wear there in the next gen car. So, especially through 1 and 2, you can take 2 different lines through there. So it's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. It's going to be different racing as what we saw tonight at Michigan, but I love Pocono. It creates some great racing, and hopefully, as we've seen in the first 3 rounds of the next gen Full Throttle Friday Night Series, we're going to see that again for round 4 here at 7:45 p.m. next Friday night here on the IndySim Esports Network. But Paul, while we wrap up the broadcast, I'll just let yourself and Peter just have a little bit of a chime in, do a little bit of a wrap on your thought of round 3 of the Next Gen Full Throttle Series here on a Friday night, and I'll wrap up the broadcast.
Well, I don't know about you, Peter, but that end of that race, that could have gone anyway. I think my take on one of those, I think the biggest loser, unfortunately, to say that was Ruben. I think if he had have not gone for the block on Andy and had have sat in that inside line, he probably could have been up there on P2.
Yeah, definitely, and it's unfortunate for Ruben too because he had a pretty consistent race all through it, and it was some ridiculous number that you guys set. Probably not ridiculous for yous, but for me, I just talk. I don't drive. But yeah, for Ruben to have that little bit of a mistake there, and especially when exactly what me and Ruben were talking about earlier. Don't need to highlight it, but yeah, he did. Let's leave it there. But yeah, it was a good show, and yeah, whenever you want me back, Aiden and PJ, I'm happy to come back. But NASCAR, I've definitely got a higher respect for NASCAR, the category, not only in real life, but here on iRacing. But that was that, mate. There's nowhere I would rather be here on a Friday night, mate. That was absolutely stellar and kept me on my toes right to the end. You didn't know who was going to win.
Well, if you're that keen, I think next week at Pocono, it's probably you might not have seen Pocono, so it's a bit of a triangle layout for an oval. So that'll be definitely one that if you're keen to come back, I'd say jump back in the booth with us.
Oh, mate, I can sit there and have a couple of coldies and spit all over my mic with you. That's fine, but it's you got racing to watch as well. But yeah, nah, definitely gives a shout out. I'm more than keen. Obviously in real life we'll have to leave it till later on to sort of confirm that. But all going well, I'm here. I'll sit here and I'll talk shit with you, mate, as we go through with this awesome series. But how good was it tonight? The racing, you didn't know who won. Well, I didn't anyway.
Yeah, it was amazing racing tonight, Peter, and thank you so much for lending your voice to the InterSim Esports Network here at a Friday night. We really do appreciate it, and we hope to see you back in the box next Friday night. You did a stellar job, so thank you so much. Thank you so much to Paul Jackson as well, the man behind the mic and the man behind the beautiful images you see here on the InterSim Esports Network. But ladies and gentlemen, we might wrap up the broadcast here on a Friday night on the InterSim Esports Network. You've just seen round 3 of the Full Throttle Friday Night NextGen Cup Series from Michigan International Speedway. Your winner was Demetrius Agathos, P2, Jason Holdsworth, P3, Tom Pritchard, rounding out your podium. But we will be back on Sunday night, ladies and gentlemen, from 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here on the InterSim Esports Network for the next installment of the Australasian Supercar E-Series right here on your home of ovals, the InterSim Esports Network. A big shout out to our sponsor, Cube Retro Radio, for coming on board for the Full Throttle Next Gen Cup Series. As you see them, jump on and like them on all your socials in real world. Anywhere, I'm sure they have iTunes. I'm sure they have everything in the radio world. Jump on and like that. Follow us, of course, at InterSim Esports Network on Facebook, Twitch, or YouTube. Also follow the Full Throttle Cup Series or Full Throttle Sim Racing Leagues, rather, on Facebook or on Twitch, or even jump onto Discord if you have it and jump into that league so you can see all the announcements and upcoming races and everything happening in this era of the Next Gen series. But Paul, Peter, great job tonight. Great call. And ladies and gentlemen, we'll wrap up the broadcast there. So your top 3 tonight was Demetrius Agathos in P1, Jason Sworth P2, and Tom Pritchard rounding out your podium in P3. But from Paul, Peter, myself, everyone involved in the InterSim Esports Network and everyone from the Full Throttle Friday Night Next Gen series, we thank you for tuning in tonight across all our platforms, and we look forward to seeing you on Sunday night here from 7:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the Australasian Supercar E-Series here on the InterSim Esports Network. But without further ado, we'll wish you a good night and we'll see you on Sunday. Good night.